everyone. Welcome to the Felicity Optimist versus Cynic podcast with us, your hosts, Melissa and Fish. This is a Felicity rewatch podcast. We'll watch an episode each week and join you here to talk about it. And a reminder, there could be spoilers that come up as we talk about this episode because it's not a spoiler-free podcast. In case you were wondering, in case you haven't ever heard us talk about this before, it's not spoiler-free. I am Melissa, and I'm here with my indomitable co-host, Fish. Fish, how are you doing today?
I think that's a good word for today. Okay. I'm fully the cynic today. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna be my role, and I'm gonna live up to it.
I really don't blame you. If anything, being an optimist is going to be, I'm going to put some work in. All right,
yeah, this one. This is going to be your challenge, which you've chosen to accept.
Yeah, I have. Well, what are we talking about today? You might ask. We're talking about season 3, episode 7, called Kissing Mr. Covington. This one originally aired November 15th, 2000. It was written by Jennifer Levin, directed by Harry Weiner. Here's the episode description. Ben's father, who comes back to town seeking a reconciliation with his son, ends up kissing Felicity in a moment of emotional weakness. Elsewhere, Sean converts to Judaism after his operation. Tracy asks Elena to join him and Finn for a celebratory outing, and Noel reads Jane's private email. Now, Fish, at the end of the last podcast, when I told you the name of this episode and you guessed all possible iterations of what kissing Mr. Covington can mean, you didn't land on what happened. But right before we watched the episode, you did.
Well, I
with great trepidation.
All I said is, I just hope it's not Felicity. I mean, you gave me a little while to think about it, and I wasn't really being serious. I just said offhandedly, in a way that it could never be. Yeah, I just, that would be really terrible. Yeah.
Well, your prophecy became real, and I bit my tongue when you said it, and was like, I'll just watch the episode and see. And that was true. It was true what happened. And it's not like you said you would riot if it did, but boy, did we come close.
That's because I didn't really think it would happen. And I would like to be very clear that this episode title is misleading. There was no kissing of Mr. Covington.
That's true.
There was kissing by Mr. Covington.
Well, they left out a preposition, okay? It could be kissing Mr. Covington, like who came to town kissing Mr. Covington. That's
an adjective. I see.
Way to do it, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
That like that, yeah.
It could be an adjective. Fair enough.
Well, where do you want to start?
My goodness. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a surprise, but I hated this episode. I hated everything about it. I hated it. Your turn.
Did you hate it? Because I mean, I guess I'm doing this question that you would normally use to answer your rating for the episode, but I want to start with this. Did you hate the episode because you hated the situations? Did you hate the episode because you didn't believe the situations? Did you hate the episode because you thought it was badly done or written? Where's the hate coming from on this one?
Because of the situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was unfortunately believable. And I don't rate based on how well they do things that I hate. So, clearly they must have done it well for me to have this reaction. But yeah, I never want to watch this again, ever.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think from a believability or a how did they do sort of standpoint, I think you will find as I talk about this episode, there is only one storyline that I don't buy at all. And everything else, while incredibly I mean, this episode really does make you simmer in pure discomfort for so much of it. But I believe the stories they're telling me, except one. So
Yeah. I mean, I think there was one moment that we can talk about where I felt the pacing of it made the plot feel forced.
mm,
But besides that, um, yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty believable.
I'm glad we're setting the tone with that up front because, your mileage may vary on whether you want to watch something like this. But if we think that it was basically done well, then it's worth watching once and talking about it and seeing how you feel as a result, and then maybe putting it away forever.
Yep. Yep.
So, all right. Well, when we open this episode, we've got Felicity and Ben who are coming back to the loft. Obviously, Ben was just getting himself checked out because when we left him, he was getting not the quickest beat down on the cleanest street. It was a beat down for sure, though.
Correct.
And as you remember, everybody, we just sort of faded to the sound of Ben being punched and kicked and everything. So, we have to in some way address that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. They just open it. They just open it with like this beautiful shot of the loft
mhm,
and this great bookcase, and the music was really sort of like calm, and everybody's calm, and they're just, walking in, and she's supporting him,
he's
and
limping.
like,
He's banged up.
WTF? Like,
He's a little banged up. I don't even know if it's the worst he's ever been banged up, but he's got a black eye and broken arm. Got a sling on his arm. He's limping a bit. He's got all kinds of things wrong with him right now.
yeah, but
And
Felicity is just like, whatever.
yeah, serves him
And
right.
they just keep, he's like, it's not that bad. And the two of them are laughing, and they're both like calm. And Ben looks like he's on a lot of pain meds throughout the whole episode. And
Well, the show obviously is not interested in pursuing the storyline with Randy and his brothers. So
wait, like, so this is never going to be dealt with? Like, this is it? Like, we're not going to come back to this just because
I
they
think so.
decided to throw this in?
Right.
And now I hate it more.
I don't think we ever see Randy again. And there's
But do we
definitely no
see,
more threat of
but do
Randy and his
we
brothers.
see Felicity having any reaction that isn't like, it's all cool, whatever, you love me, yay, Ben's back home?
Well, I mean, I do think in this episode they were trying to tackle a little bit this idea of like Felicity mildly intervening um, after her own experience with Ben's dad. And I do think that their relationship is going to be a series of forced errors, really.
But like, no
It's
discussion of punching the lamp, no discussion of like, hey, you scared me, no discussion of
nope,
like,
we're not going to get that. We're not
yeah,
going to get
okay,
that.
yeah, hate that.
Felicity's approach here is going to be how can we make the hurt go away more so than you could be a threat to me. And I
Mhm.
do think that I'm trying to think if we ever see more violent stuff from Ben because nothing is coming to mind immediately and I could just be forgetting something. So
No, like,
I,
you shouldn't have given a guy like a concussion, no discussion of him putting someone else in the
they're
hospital.
not going to address what happened, but I also don't think they give us more. I don't remember them giving us more violent stuff from Ben. I could be wrong about that, but when we were talking in season 1 about how we'd see more of like violent Ben in the future, I was specifically thinking of the Randy thing, and nothing else is like really jumping out to me. So I think what they're doing here by getting him into this group um, is they're trying to start him on a different trajectory where he has other types of coping mechanisms available to him.
But no discussion of what his issues were to get him to the other coping mechanisms, and like I feel like the
No,
anger issues and the violence need to be addressed in some way for me to actually believe that they then stop.
I don't know that they do.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, like some of his other ways of coping are, well, I don't know. Well, we'll have to, my memory on this is, I'm just trying to sit here and like sift through the future, and
Well,
we'll just have to see.
it really bugged me that they come into the like beautiful clean loft. Yeah, he is banged up, but she's there like helping him in. We don't see any reaction of hers having to do with when she finds out what happened to him, when she goes to the hospital, when, which I assume she did. Like there's just zero, we get nothing, no
Yeah.
reaction from
No, we
her.
don't get any reaction from her. But I do also have to say, slightly in the show's defense on this, what they're also giving us is a Felicity that no, Felicity is not blameless in this situation. So I don't know to what extent she would come down on Ben.
She's not blameless in the like she drank too much situation, but this is not the first time he's had this type of reaction.
Right.
And
But I think if
like
you're her in this situation, if I'm thinking like her character, I don't know if she wants to open up the how dare you do this sort of like what's the hell's going on here sort of thing, because I think at the end of the day for her all of this happened because of what she did. Even though Ben is showing a pattern, to bring it up in this situation, I think is very loaded for her to do, or I think she'd feel that it's very loaded for her to do because she feels terrible about what she did with Randy that even inspired all of this to take
then
place.
show us that. I mean, show us something,
Yeah.
because what I saw was they come in, she puts him down on the couch, and all of a sudden he's like smiley, cute, adorable Ben. And I'm like, mm-mm,
Yeah.
no. I mean, the only way I could rationalize it was he's on a lot of painkillers, which made total sense.
Yeah.
But like, no,
Yeah.
not
You wanted more with
after,
that. Well,
yeah,
and
not
I
after
think the
that
other thing too
story.
is that they, I guess because Randy and the brothers got their comeuppance, that they're not a prolonged threat. It's not like they're going to be
Because
around the
Ben got
next
his.
corner. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's the right way to put that because like they got back at him. They got their revenge. So
Yeah.
it's not going to be an ominous presence throughout the show. Like he's not going to turn around every corner and see Randy and his brothers there ready to beat him down. So the show's trying to put that part behind it. It's like this was a 2 episode story.
I mean, that's
And
fine, but Ben's reaction is not a 2 episode story. Ben
it's true.
is himself. Like,
It's true.
he is a man who has punched people multiple times, has a gambling problem, has a lot of stuff going on internally, has put someone in the hospital, has himself been put in the hospital, and they're just glossing it all over.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
And yeah, I sort of assumed that they would come back to it like in the next episode or something, like one of those weird things where it's like, all right, we're going to deal with his dad now, and then Felicity will like talk to him later. But yeah, I'm
Not
not
into it.
loving that resolution or lack thereof.
Yeah, it's a lack thereof situation. Well, I mean, we don't really get a whole lot of substance here. I think the stuff that we're reading between the lines is probably more important than what we actually get. I mean, we get Noel just reiterating how many times he wants to like, oh Ben, you look really bad. You look awful. You look terrible. But then we also find out that Noel is going to cover for Ben's shifts at Dean and DeLuca,
Mhm.
which I guess on paper, like Noel covering for Bennett, Dean, and DeLuca isn't super important to this episode, but I do think that there's sort of like a budding relationship that must happen there with Javier. Um, that they, they're making it more possible for Noel to be in that world. And it's not unusual to see Noel at Dean and DeLuca later. So I guess it's good that they have him here, but all of this is sort of just like mild setup, more so than anything else.
I mean, Sean did it before, but he's also in the hospital.
Very true. Sean was not available at this moment. So now we've got Felicity and Ben still there, and Felicity's going to pick up the phone because Ben's dad had called. She's going to try to pass the phone to Ben, but Ben won't take the call. But last we saw between Ben and his dad left him, what's the word I want? Stood him up for a Yankees game. And Ben and
I guess we've never found out why, right?
No, don't think we ever will. And I actually got confused for a moment in this episode, the first scene where we see Felicity and his dad talking when she's like reintroducing herself to him. I was like, oh yeah, she didn't actually see him.
Yeah.
In that one episode, there was just a lot of back and forth with Ben and his dad. And then when she was actually supposed to have a function that she went to with him, he didn't show. So I had to like remind myself of why she was reintroducing herself. But I did check out when I sat there with it.
Yeah. Yeah. They brought up the Palo Alto thing again.
Yeah. And so why is Ben's dad even calling? Well, I guess Ben's dad is an emergency contact that's listed for him. And since Ben was in the hospital, and we find out that his mom is away
in Europe.
Yeah, so we get that little bit of information that just like supposed to make it all make sense why we still haven't met his mom. And so his dad flew out despite all the obvious issues with that.
I mean, I did like Ben's reaction. Felicity's like, here, take the phone. And Ben's like, tell him I'm not home. She's like, I already said you're here. And he's like, I don't care. And he's like, just hang up. Just hang up.
It's fine. Just hang up on him. And so Felicity makes an excuse for him and then hangs up. And
yeah, how many? I didn't count, but I should have counted. Like how many lies Felicity told during this episode.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And it was just like mostly out of discomfort, but often out of covering for people. And she is not being her most genuine version of herself. Yeah, yes. It's like you feel the discomfort that Felicity feels, I think, throughout this whole episode. This is she's just this net. What a mess.
Agreed.
A mess that she didn't invite for some of it, like I don't know.
Yeah. And Ben's just like, look, the only reason he flew out is because my mom's in Europe and he just wanted to say, oh, look, I did this for Ben. And I don't know. I mean, I guess the only thing I can say that's good is that Felicity looks fantastic. Her hair's still up. It's fantastic.
Okay. Well, there you have that.
And I don't like what she does next, which is a lot of what she does this episode, which is like trying to get Ben and his father to reconcile.
Yeah.
Like,
but we're going to see that shift in this episode.
Yeah.
Which I've needed to see from her for a little bit, but we're finally going to get it. So let's go to Noel seeing Jane on the street. Noel's like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Twinkle in his eye. Jane says, who are you?
Yeah. Strike one. I was at the graphics lecture. I'm Noel. Remember, I fixed your computer. Okay, strike one.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go to the graphics lecture, did you? Nope. Strike two.
Totally not into that. Okay. All right. Hey, do you ever want to get sushi?
Oh my God. Strike three.
Violent food poisoning from sushi. All right.
Doesn't even eat rice anymore.
Nope. I hear you, Jane. So what we're getting here, it's just this little bit, but what we're seeing is that Noel in his natural stable state is of no interest to Jane.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Everything that he has to say or is uninteresting. I do like that Tyra Banks is eating potato chips. Again, what I was talking about with the whole body image thing, that she talked a lot about. I
Mhm.
love that she's modeling that in, no pun intended.
Mhm.
Um, that she's modeling that for people here.
Yeah.
It's great. Love it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, awkwardness continues now. So we're gonna get all right. So Felicity is alone in her apartment. She's got some music on.
It's weird 70s music to be dancing to in the early 2000s. I can't believe that's the original, but okay, sure. I'm trying to find like little good things that I can say about the scenes. Her rose shirt is back. I love this shirt. This
Sure.
is an amazing shirt, and she should wear it all the time. It's fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, she was looking great and she's dancing. You know what happens sometimes if you're in your own apartment by yourself and you're just got music on. Sometimes you dance.
Yeah, and I was kind
And
of wondering if she was drunk. She potentially drunk? She seemed maybe a
I
little
think
drunk.
so. She was just sort of enjoying the moment. She was just, it
Uh,
was
yeah,
one of those moments when you're dancing or singing to yourself and then you wish you didn't realize anybody might be noticing you. And so you're dancing with
yes.
abandon.
And I'd like to just as like a PSA for people who live in New York,
Mhm.
even though this probably should be Melissa's part, people lock your doors.
I know.
Don't don't just leave your doors open.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Because anybody can come in, such as Ben's dad, which
Yeah, he
doesn't
did
sound like the
many
worst scenario,
times.
but it is. I think
Yeah,
what we've learned in this situation is that even if it's just Ben's dad who comes in, just lock your door, okay?
lock your door, all of
Yeah.
you.
So Ben's dad wants to talk to Felicity. He specifically sought her out. It's awkward. She's feeling
Well,
awkward. It's a little weird, but it's like awkward in a I get I'll be a good host sort of. I don't know how to do that with you because you're Ben's dad, but let me be your host here, sort of
yeah, she is
weird energy.
definitely a little awkward at first, but like he comes in and he's like warm and charming. And I thought of that, what Ben said about him making like a good first impression,
Yeah, he
like
does
just
sort
right
of put
there.
her at ease because he hasn't done anything specifically to make her feel awkward. It's just this is a strange situation, right? It's Ben's dad and she hasn't met him in this and now she's dating him and or Ben anyway and like he's just shown up in her apartment and what is she supposed to do? So he puts her at ease
Hmm.
initially
Hmm.
before putting her at great unease.
Yes.
But in this scene, it's really more about, you know, this is more about the conversation itself. Ben didn't want to talk, right? I messed it all
Yeah.
up.
And she
Um,
says, uh, you know, line number two, Ben's going through something. It's not you. No, it is you.
it's him. It's all
It's
the way his dad.
definitely you.
Yeah. So the dad brings up Al-Anon
Finally.
and and he's like, look, it might you might want to talk to him about this. It's something that could help him. I'm worried about Ben. Just can you tell him about Al-Anon? Felicity awkwardly and reluctantly says, okay. But fortunately, the show is putting that concept they're making it a thing.
Yes. Which I
They've named the
appreciated.
resource.
Yes. One of the resources. It's a good resource. And so, okay, he came back. He's like, Ben's not going to listen to me. Can you help me help Ben? And so
Mm-hmm.
she's like, okay, I will do that.
Yeah. All right. So let's switch from here to we're going to the hospital. It's Sean and Meghan. Sean is reading up on Judaism. He's
Yep.
becoming knowledgeable.
Or so he thinks. Yep.
Yeah, he's trying
Yep.
anyway.
I mean, there's 613 commandments for him to follow. Let me tell you, if he's going to even try, I mean, it's that is a hard road ahead.
Yeah, and he commits to starting to follow the commandments of God beginning today. Like this
Yes.
is it. This is it, Meghan.
Starting right now, I am an Uber Jew.
Meanwhile, you can see that Meghan's been jumping through hoops for this guy. She's come with the specific candles he asked for. He's probably put together at least one shopping list for her at this point with all the things that he has been reading about. And
There are a lot of things you need for Sabbath dinner. I don't know how
yeah.
he's going to do Sabbath dinner in the hospital exactly. I mean, I guess he could get a kosher meal, and if he has the candles, I doubt he can say, any of the prayers yet. But he's on the hook because he made a pact
He
with
did.
God.
He made a pact with God
Yeah,
before the surgery. And what's he going to do? Go back on his word to God? So
can't do that.
that's pretty much the direction he is headed. And we find out that the patient in the next bed over is a guy named Morgan Stern.
Hmm.
And so,
They make the wild leap that he is Jewish. I mean, you just can say, okay, whatever.
well, there you
He
have
was a
it.
rabbi.
Turns out we don't know that yet in this scene, but we'll find out pretty soon that he's a rabbi.
I
So,
did love this moment though, because I had a roommate who still is Jewish, and we lived together for a while. And this whole thing about, not like dealing with electricity or, a lot of types of technology on the Sabbath. I mean, it's something that is like a deeply held belief by a number of people. However, this part always got to me because the person who is Jewish can't do it. So they just surround themselves with Gentiles who
who
they're
can
like,
turn on lights?
right. And so it
Yeah.
was like, she couldn't drive a car, but she could sit in the passenger seat while I drove her
Yeah,
everywhere.
it does seem like a rule that has now become like, how do I get people to enable me?
Yeah, I'm like, I get that you want to stream Sabbath, but that does require technology. And like, here's the thing. So we're just gonna sin? Like you think it's a sin, but we should do it? I don't know. I always had kind of a little, really, like if you think it's so bad, why are you asking me to do it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Anyway,
I have the same
just saying.
question about this.
Yeah. Hey, listeners, let us know. Is it okay for a Gentile to do this? Is it not bad? I still got the feeling that it was not something that was looked favorably upon.
Yeah. Well, okay. You know what else I'm not looking favorably upon, though?
No.
Or actually, I don't know how I feel about the first thing, but I know what I'm definitely not looking favorably upon. It's this whole thing that Noel's trying to do here with Jane. So Noel and Elena are having a conversation where I don't even understand what's happening here, Fish. This is the story. If you couldn't tell, guys, this is the storyline that I'm just not on board with. So Noel and Elena are chatting, and Noel's saying, "Oh, I'm really into Jane. It's just that thing we have absolutely nothing in common whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I can make it be that we have things in common. I have her password. I can read her email, right? That's the thing I could do, right?
I
Right, Elena?
have the key to my dream girl's diary. And Elena's just like, no,
Yeah,
no, you can't do that. No, don't read her email.
that was my reaction too. And
Yeah.
frankly, he should know this.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, it's Tyra Banks. We get it.
Ugh.
She's gorgeous. She's a model. She's amazing.
But
She's
even
Jane. She's smart. She's, a dancer. Like,
we at Felicity Optimist versus Cynic do not even endorse or co-sign stalking Tyra Banks, okay? We
correct.
don't.
It's not okay.
It's not
We're
okay.
it's just not okay. Like, we get that maybe it went through your mind because you're a guy and she's Tyra Banks. But let's remember, you're still married to Doritos chick, who is
Mm-hmm.
also gorgeous.
Yeah.
And also, don't do this to anyone ever.
Yeah.
Never. Not okay.
So Elena has made it very clear that he was not going to get the green light from Elena on this. Do
Nope.
not read her email. Meanwhile, so Tracy comes in and he's so excited. He's like, hey, the paper that you helped me with. Not only did we get a good grade, it's going to be published. Let's
We
all
need to go out and
celebrate.
celebrate.
Yeah, you,
Let's
me,
just
and
put us in
Finn.
a really awkward position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
I wonder if Elena was credited on that paper at all. It sounds like
Probably
she was
not.
saying she just did data entry.
But I
Uh,
doubt that's true. I think she probably was feeling really guilty and like wrote it.
did more, yeah.
But I want to just point out something she says to Noel, which is lies ruin everything.
Hmm. Sure does. And that
Yeah,
inspires Noel as soon as they leave to then look at Jane's email
of course.
because
Yes.
everything that he's seen happen in the last 1 minute has pointed him in this direction. No.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. He's going to get his
So,
phone cable out. He's going to put it into his computer.
mhm.
And I'm going to give an award for like the creepiest moment so far is when he opens the email and he gets that little half smile on his face.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I just don't see how we got here. And it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So I'll have more to say. Let's go to Felicity and Ben. So we're at the loft, and Felicity is putting up a little basketball hoop. A toy that obviously Ben's dad had given, but Ben doesn't know that yet. So he's stoked about the basketball hoop. He's like, yeah, I get to play basketball again. And she's like, it's from your dad. I don't want it. I don't want it. Give it back.
Yeah,
Just get rid of it.
she's just gonna do some more apologizing here. It's from your dad. He's worried about you. Ben's like, he's sucking you in.
Yeah.
Like, look, the last time he was here, you connected. He was like, yeah, did you see what happened? She's like, I
Yeah.
think you're being a little close-minded. Ben's like, you don't know what you're talking about. And then
She
it just
says,
bugs me.
she says,
Bless
try
him.
one more time for me. I have to
Yeah.
say, this crosses the line for me. For all the times that she's tried to say, well, you could just. Yeah, I was on the fence about all those times because it's not her business. She doesn't know, right? So, but she wasn't working extra hard to put them together. She was just making this suggestion. She's had enough evidence at this point. This is Ben's relationship with Ben's dad. And if Ben doesn't want to talk to his dad, if Ben doesn't want to grab the phone out of Felicity's hand, it's not Felicity's job to single-handedly try to repair this relationship that she doesn't even have enough history to know if it can be repaired. So for me, this scene, if the other scenes with her saying stuff like this didn't cross the line, this one does for me.
Yeah,
She's
the
had
other ones,
experience with him. She's
yeah.
also been stood up now by Ben's dad. Like she saw what it did to Ben. He already tried one more time for her.
Hmm.
That just
Yeah.
happened like 2 episodes ago.
Look where you are now.
I know. So
Try one more
Felicity,
time for me. He can punch a second lamp.
yeah,
Poor lamps. I also thought it was really not okay that she's calling him close-minded because not only is she saying, you should connect with him, I'm like bringing stuff from your father into your place. She's now like putting him down
yeah.
and insulting him.
I agree. I don't like that word choice. And I guess from an episode standpoint, from a writing standpoint, they're maybe what they're trying to do here with this scene is to make it so that we have the biggest reaction possible to the next scene she has with Ben's dad.
I
Like
guess.
maybe they're trying to show us she was she was being open-minded. She was trying to help. And then this was beyond the pale, and she's going to sing a different tune. So maybe they had to show us the tune she was singing and the new tune she's going to be singing. I don't know. Um, it's just that I feel like she didn't need, we've already seen reasons for her not to be talking to Ben like this.
Yeah.
So
And like don't
it's
get
that
me.
issue of people weren't binging these shows.
Yeah.
So like if you're going to rest your hopes as a writer on the audience will remember what happened 2 weeks ago, but yet you haven't shown them that. Like I know when we see shows that were written a long time ago or around this time, there is a lot more needing to put in the exposition and the hey, remember when you saw this 3 episodes ago, and the like that was really important at that time because we would forget, like you would forget that
Yeah.
this stuff happened.
Or you might miss an episode, and so you really needed that like opener that was like, you know, you missed it, so this is what happened in the last episode.
I think for me, that's the only way to explain this scene in a way that I feel good about, is that they're just trying to catch the audience up on sort of where Felicity was with this and where she's going all in one episode. But because we're covering it the way that we are, it doesn't feel necessary to me.
Yeah. So we have one more scene. Let's cover the Elena Finn scene, and then I'm going to say something that probably will be controversial.
Okay. Oh,
I
all
know,
right. That's exciting. Guys, get
right?
ready. Controversy. Okay. That's it. So, Epstein bar. Elena and Finn are sitting down at a table. Elena says, I can't go out. I can't go out with you and Tracy. It's not a thing I can do. I love Tracy.
Hmm.
I can't do this anymore.
Or again, I mean,
Or again.
I guess they kissed once and then the thing.
Yeah, and then did it.
Yeah,
Elena says, I love Tracy. Finn says, you have a weird way of showing it.
yeah. He sounds pissed.
Yeah, he's not into it. He is not into all this stuff. You know what, Finn? This was complicated from the beginning. Now, granted, Elena lied to him initially,
Yep.
but he's known about Tracy for a while. So anything that Elena has done with Finn, they did with him knowing about Tracy.
I mean, he's been pursuing her. Um, Even though she has a boyfriend, she hasn't really been showing. I mean, fair enough that she and Tracy are all that serious.
Yeah.
So, he's like, all right, I guess I lose, but I'm a little pissed, which I think
Yeah.
is, kind of fair on his side of being pissed, but also neither of you should have been doing this.
Yeah. I mean, why are you so surprised, Finn? You had enough information at the point when this started to become physical. You didn't in the beginning when you started to be interested in Elena. She was telling you she wasn't attached. I get it. But then she was. and like
Yeah,
and
but
that's the
again,
reality. And you know Tracy and you've met Tracy and Tracy's
right.
super cool. So
But she showed up at his door, and the last time they were together, it seemed like they were having sex. So,
yeah.
like, kind of in Finn's defense, I can see him being a little surprised, and like, maybe he thought the fact that they had sex meant she was not, in fact, going to continue being with Tracy.
That's
Um,
never in the history of humans been for sure what that meant.
I mean,
like
not for sure, but I mean, it's a possibility.
I mean, what percentage of the time is
I
that
do,
like
I don't know. I mean, what percentage of the time are you dating someone? You go sleep with someone else, and then I don't know, I would say probably a good percent of the time you're like, well, there was a reason I slept with someone else, and or my boyfriend's gonna dump me anyway. So, uh,
of people that I know who have cheated, the women never disclosed it.
Hmm.
and stayed in their relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's completely a very small subset and like very much anecdotal. But I wonder, I err on the side of like more people stay in the relationship they were in
Could be.
ultimately, but I don't
I
know.
mean, I definitely think at like an older age, but at like, I don't know, as a college junior, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. All of the examples I'm thinking of were college.
Huh?
So I don't
All
know.
right.
Hard to say. This is going to be really anecdotal evidence. So write in, tell us
Yeah.
what listeners
If
like. What do you think?
anyone has any studies, any published academic journals have looked into this, feel free to send us those links.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, well, Fish, you've promised big things here.
Yeah.
It's full. I'll set the scene. It's Felicity's apartment. Felicity's just come home.
Yes.
Knock on
And
the door.
again, yeah. Again, Mr. Covington shows up. And I said to Melissa at the time, "What's up with Dad stalking Felicity?"
True story.
Yeah. Um, Felicity says he loved the basketball hoop. Lie.
Hmm.
And Mr. Covington's just like, yeah, I've lost him. And she's like, no, no, he just needs time.
Line number
Ah,
286.
yeah. Um, and then they have like he just, kind of loses it. He's like, you know, my sponsor said, like, what's the worst that could happen? Your son doesn't talk to you. Like, you've really got nothing to lose. Like, he just starts crying. And she kind of like reaches out and like touches him and then is like, okay, well, we'll give this guy like a hug. And then,
But I do want to say though, before she reaches out and like touches his arm, I love this little moment of acting from Carrie Russell because she's like, if this were any other person, she would just hug the person.
yeah,
And so you see the instinct in her to like, she keeps like going to try to, and then she keeps holding herself back. But you can see that her instinct is to reach out to the
mhm,
person who's hurting so bad. But then the obvious, nope, can't do that here, is like holding her back. And it takes her like a good 10 seconds
yeah,
before she even very delicately, very awkwardly puts a hand on his arm.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, he's full on crying. Like his face is not showing because his hands are just like covering his blubbering at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Um, and so they do hug.
Which she initiates, I think, right?
Yeah,
She touches his arm and then she kind of she hugs him.
yeah, she hugs him. Because
And
he's
in no
still
way
like
am I saying that's an
crying. No, no,
invitation.
no, 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 no,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Whew. God, thanks.
Um, and here's the thing. So it is unbelievably awkward that he like starts nuzzling into her like hair and neck at that point, and
Yeah.
then like kind of starts going in more for the kiss. And she's just like, whoa, nope. And he's like, ah, and runs away.
Yeah.
So here's the controversial part.
I don't know
Like,
how, like, what's controversial for you here? I can't wait to hear this.
yeah, so
Because this whole
it
scene
goes,
sucks.
yeah, it does. But it goes back to the last scene where she was like saying, like, just, do it one more time for me. And here's the thing. From my point of view, this man is like a physically, emotionally abusive guy who has done terrible things to Ben. And while this 30-second interaction or so was awkward, like he wasn't getting violent, he wasn't forcing himself on her. Like, yes, it was a violation, it was inappropriate, like many of the things, but it's not like she pushed him away and he grabbed her and like kissed her. So I'm not saying that it's okay, I'm just saying it's not the worst thing he's done. And it the fact that like she becomes, justifiably uncomfortable around him. Um, I don't know. It's kind of like it took this, and also it only took this
Mhm.
for you to like 180% like flip how you're thinking about things, and all of a sudden, instead of trying to reconcile these two, you're like, actually, no, I'm not going to be part of that. And like, I didn't understand, but like, now I understand. Like, no, you still don't understand. You had like a 30-second kind of awkward, weird interaction with a guy. Fine. You're uncomfortable. You're still covering for him, but it's not like you get it now.
Mhm.
So from my perspective, I don't want to say like it's not that bad, but it's not as bad as it could have been. And it's certainly not the worst thing he's done. And so for me, like I didn't have like, yeah, ew, but I didn't have such a big reaction. And yet when we see her face, she looks so shocked. Like
Mhm.
she looks like her whole world has been rocked. I mean, she just had her boyfriend put a guy in the hospital with a concussion and then have him like get beaten down by multiple frat bros, have a broken arm, and she's just like cool with it. But this 30 seconds is gonna rock her world. Like I don't know. I'm not buying that. I mean, it just doesn't feel it doesn't feel like that big a deal.
Hmm.
I don't know what else to say.
I see where you're coming from, and I also think this is a big deal. But I am still of the opinion that I wish the last episode where the dad stood both of them up was enough information for her.
Yeah,
And I also wish Ben talking to her about it and the things he was telling her was enough information for
right.
her.
If like the
So
things he
those two
said,
things, like I do agree with you in the sense of like if your partner, if you want your partner to be your partner and your partner is telling you about trauma and telling you what they can and cannot handle, that is what they can and cannot handle. It is not your job to do anything more than that. She did convince him a couple episodes ago to give the dad another chance. Ben did. His dad disappointed him as per usual, and Felicity too, because Felicity was there with him on the very last, that last scenario where they were supposed to all meet up. So Felicity was there to witness the whole thing. All of that, I believe, should have been enough, which is why this episode feels like we already should have had this turn.
yeah.
But I believe this is incredibly creepy. This would make me feel very uncomfortable. Like, this is far beyond what he should have done, what Mr. Covington should have done. There's no, this is unacceptable. This is sexual harassment, actually. And like, no matter how it's being couched, he was making an advance on Felicity. He knows it. She knows it. Not okay. But in addition, I think to the fact that his advance was not wanted, there's this very complex layer around now she has this secret from Ben. And like, do you tell, like, okay, if we play this out, because if it were me playing through this, first of all, I'd want to be out of that situation instantly. But then when you're out of it, when you're safe from it, when Ben's dad is gone, now what's going through my head would be, if I tell Ben about this, what's Ben going to do?
Mm-hmm.
What, like, do I want to add this to Ben's ever long list of like, can Ben handle this? What does he need this? Like, what's going on with this? Do I want to be the messenger of this? And I don't know, like it's just so complicated with Ben. And like I don't want to hurt Ben. I don't want to be the person who tells Ben and has to hurt him by telling him this. But if I don't tell him about it, what if I have to see this guy again? Like, how do I keep up this charade? Because I'm uncomfortable around his dad now. So it puts Felicity in this really difficult position. how to handle it with the person she's actually in a relationship with. And so I think the act itself was unacceptable, but this position it puts her in it is so very much a position like if Ben's dad had been doing this on purpose, this is the perfect thing to rip Felicity and Ben apart and to take like Felicity out of Ben's orbit.
I don't understand that.
I think like this is a great way to put a wedge between your son and his significant other.
Oh, if she decides to keep the secret. Yeah.
Either way, he just did something that's going to create conflict in their relationship somehow, either because she keeps it to herself and it's an internal conflict within her, or because she tells him about it. And then it's this thing, right? So, like, if he had been doing this on purpose, great way to isolate your son, you know?
Yeah, I don't think
I don't know that he
it on
necessarily
purpose.
was doing it on purpose, but it's nonetheless, it's very creepy to me. But I do agree with you on that. I think she should have, it's not her position to try to step in and fix their relationship. Like, it's her position to listen to Ben and to let him unload or to give him resources where he can unload.
Yeah,
But
it's
he
not
should be
like,
in the driver's seat about, like, I don't know.
well, up until this point. But like again, it's not like I'm saying it's in any way okay or appropriate. I'm just saying on this in the scale of things that this man has done and what could have happened, I feel like this was a lot less.
Could he have raped her? Sure. I mean,
But
like,
even
could
like
they
forced
level
a
of,
kiss,
yeah,
even like anything other than like he immediately ran away. Like he ran.
yeah.
um
I think he should have. Like, I
yeah,
see your point that it could have
absolutely.
been worse, but I also feel like this was already unwelcome and bad enough. Like, I don't think it
No, no,
needs
no.
to
I
be.
I agree that it was. It's just I guess I feel like she's not having reactions that I buy. If
Mhm.
like she has so little reaction to all the violence that Ben has shown, and
Mhm.
then has this huge reaction to again like a completely inappropriate moment, but not like a forced kiss or anything violent.
Mhm.
Like it just feels like her reactions aren't balanced in some way.
Mhm.
And part of it, this was so the next scene is Ben and Felicity, and this is where I feel like it felt forced for the plot
Okay.
because Mr. Covington, you know, creeps all over Felicity. And then all of a sudden, like the next scene, Felicity shows up and Ben's like, "Oh,
Playing with
right.
the basketball hoop.
Yeah, I should totally see my dad again." Yeah. And he's like justifying all this stuff. And I'm like, mm, this feels like a plot thing here. Like, I don't know that this goes from absolutely not, I don't want to see him, to, and then he creeps on my girlfriend, but I don't know about it, to, oh yeah, you're totally right. I should give him another chance.
Yeah. I will say that I agree with that. I will also say that I guess what they're laying out here is that Felicity's words matter to Ben because the fact that she's going to, and we'll see him do the same thing again later in this episode where she like hands him an Al-Anon pamphlet. He's like, "No, I don't need a group. I'm not going. I'm not going to go to a group." And the very next scene we see him and I think he's going to a group. So it's I wonder if they're asking us to buy this like ability to reverse from like a staunch position based on he's never in his life had somebody to talk to about this stuff. And
Yeah.
I
I mean, that's the
wonder like
thing.
when the person he trusts is giving him feedback, if it he has initial resistance, but it seems to be getting in because he trusts Felicity.
maybe he shouldn't in this situation,
I
given that
mean,
she still doesn't know what she's talking about.
yeah. I will say, because we've explored, we've done a little bit of exploration around the Julie storyline of like, where does somebody step in versus where do they not? And I want to say, and I have some personal experience here to draw from that I'm using to back up my preferences here in this situation. But um, when somebody has boundaries that have been set with a person in their life that they deem to be a toxic presence, and that person has created boundaries for whatever reason, if you're in a position of like, if that person's listening to you, if you're talking to them, if they're your partner, if they're your really good friend, and like, it's not your position to try to break their boundaries. You can
Yeah.
listen. You can devil's advocate if you want. If you're going to have a relationship with the person they have a toxic relationship with, that could potentially work, but not if you're breaking their boundaries. So
Yeah.
like, Felicity and his dad having these conversations where like Felicity's dad is asking, I mean, Ben's dad is asking her to be like a messenger to Ben, to pass messages along, to pass this along, to share that, to share information about Ben. There needs to be a line,
Yeah.
you know, and I feel, and it sounds like you feel that way too. And the show did not handle it that way. But in real life, I want to say, please, like, don't just assume that you're helping somebody by bringing them together with the person they've set boundaries with. You could be really harming them, like, really, really harming them. So just, it's not to say you can't have all these relationships, but don't break the person you care about's boundaries to do it. I don't
Especially
know.
when you know about them. I mean, what I do like
Yeah.
is at the very least, she does say, "Oh, your dad showed up again." Right? Like she doesn't hide the fact that like he even showed up. Um, but just also going back to what you were saying before about um how like what the effect could be on their relationship. Like she's either got this big secret or she tells him. And I guess my reaction is if she tells him, I'm still on the side of like, what's his reaction and is it going to be violent?
Violent. Yeah.
And to because that would be my assumption. He takes his sling off and he walks out the door, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
my my reaction is this is going to end in violence. And I guess another part of this I didn't buy. It's like he goes from, yeah, I'll beat up Randy, but not like I'm not going to take a swing at this guy. Maybe that makes sense because he still hasn't like gotten over the whole father son dynamics.
I mean, I
But
definitely don't think he has gotten over the father son dynamics. I don't know what their dynamic looked like when they were. I mean, I guess if I'm going to try to extrapolate or backtrack, I guess is a better word for what we're seeing here and what that might have looked like when he lived in his dad's home. Like, I feel like maybe he wasn't fighting back physically.
I don't know. I mean, if
Um,
he's defending his mother, he must have been doing something, but
Maybe I don't
maybe
know.
not.
I wonder what that looked like in their home when conflict broke out. If he was just using words or just shielding his mom, or like, can
By the
he beat
time
up
he was
everybody except his dad because he could never beat his dad up? Like, is that what's happening here?
I don't know.
Um,
But I mean, we'll get to it when we get to the end, but like, I kind of felt like that was a not so angry Ben that we saw confronting his father.
mm.
It didn't come off the same way as he has. Like he was definitely more angry at that lamp.
He came
Like
off resolute to me. Well, we'll get to that
yeah,
scene.
yeah.
So I
But
think
right now
this
he's playing
scene we've pretty
basketball.
much covered it. I mean, he's playing with the hoop. He's had a change of heart. He's going to give his dad another shot, and Felicity's like,
Well, I mean,
right.
she's just she is justifying stuff, and she's like, yeah, I hope you guys patch things. I mean, she's not putting up any of her own barriers.
she but you can feel the conflict in her, like her decision. She's made a conscious choice in this situation to, okay, if Ben's saying he wants to give her another chance, I'm not going to get in the way of that. She says like, yeah, because hopefully you guys will patch things up. And I don't get the sense. I think she makes the decision the moment she sees Ben has had a change of heart to let him have it, without dropping this news. And so I think she's decided, I'm going to swallow this information and let this play out, let Ben do his thing here. But you can feel that that's not easy. You can,
Well, I love that, like in the previous scene, she doesn't say, "Oh, I'm gonna like swallow my feelings and, just let him have his boundaries. I'm gonna interfere and ask him to do it on my side, like for me."
mhm.
And now in this scene, it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna swallow it and let him do it on his own." Think, I think she's still on the side of like, now he's going in the direction that I thought that he should go. Like it's like
No, I
she
don't.
almost can't help herself.
I don't think that's where this is coming from. I think this is coming from a place of, I don't feel comfortable to tell Ben about this, more
Yeah,
so
like
than
I
I want
agree
them
with
to get together and be good, good buddies.
but she could have said something like, he's playing with the basketball hoop and he's like, yeah, maybe we should give him another chance. Instead of saying, "Oh, yeah, like I hope you guys patch things up," she could have been like, I've been thinking about it too, and I just want to say that I, respect how you feel. And, she could have said any number of things that wasn't continuing to push him in that direction.
Mhm. Yeah, but I think I read it differently in that I think she's fully uncomfortable with Ben's dad, and I don't see her wanting Ben and the dad to like make it work, but that she's just like passive. I don't know if pacifying the situation is the right word, but like she's not trying to throw a wrench into it. She's just, but I don't think in this moment that her interest or goal is in them being like having a close bond. Um, because
Yeah,
I think
I
there's, if that's going to be a thing, she's now going to have to see more of Ben's dad, and she's feeling uncomfortable about that. So it's like, I think if we frame this from, she thinks about herself, like if Ben and his dad make up and like reconcile and they're good, she has to deal with this guy now.
yeah, but I think like in her heart of hearts, like the reason she was coming at it from in this direction is she thinks they should have a relationship. Like that's the right thing to do. And it's like she's like somewhere down there, she like because she doesn't understand the toxicity, and she's not cutting things off with her parents. Like that hasn't even been a thought for her.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's like she doesn't understand what that even means.
I
So
think that
it's
was
like,
definitely true in the last scene that we saw her in with this situation. But I think once this awkward thing happened to her, I think she realizes that this goes a lot deeper than she gave it credit for. I don't think that she's coming from exactly that same place for this conversation with Ben.
yeah, I don't think
Um,
she's in exactly the same place, but I don't think she's moved that far away yet.
okay.
I
Yeah,
think
I think
she
it's just a matter of
continues.
when you think that turn is. I think the turn happened with the kiss or the attempted kiss. Um, it sounds like you think it happened a little bit later, but
Yeah, she tends to need to mull things over, I guess. And I think it really probably, for me, I think it happened the next time she saw him and she
mm,
felt how uncomfortable it was to be around, especially when Ben left the room.
yeah.
Like that moment right there, I think probably crystallized it a bit more for her.
It's interesting. We got to the same place, just in sort of a slightly different timing. And I'd be curious
Yeah.
to know from the listeners where you think this happened for Felicity. We'll get there though. We'll get a little bit further along. Let's look at, this was a we have a Meghan and Molly scene. not a lot of meat on this bone, but we've got some. So Meghan has clearly been jumping through a lot of hoops for Sean, and she's cooking for Sabbath.
She's got to get some wine, and Molly's like, "That's cooking wine." If anyone knows what cooking wine is, it's got a bunch of salt in it. It's disgusting, no. But she's gonna take it because it's for Sabbath, and also baby earrings. Did
Oh,
anyone else see the baby earrings?
I missed him.
Oh my God. Meghan is wearing these little naked babies that are like maybe, I don't know, an inch and a half tall as earrings.
Wow.
They're fantastic. I love them.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there's that. There's
Yeah.
that.
It was
And
great.
Megan's relaying to Molly that Sean's Jewish now. That's what's happening. That's our deal.
But yep, that's going on.
That's pretty much all we get there.
Yep.
That's fine. So, okay. Now
Yeah, one of
this
my
gets kind of
things.
interesting.
Yeah, one of my predictions
Yeah.
came
So
true.
we're gonna see, just a bunch of guys from class talking in the hallway. Tracy and Finn and some other guy. They're all chatting it up. And apparently, there's a rumor going around now. McGrath, he's been busted for sexual harassment. And
That was my prediction for last season.
mhm. And so there's, I guess, a list that's circulating of people who are thought to be his, like people he's harassed. Um, I'm thinking that's a, I'm thinking that list isn't a real list, but a list that somebody's like put together. Is that your sense? Like a suspicion
I
of who's been with McGrath more so than like a
it's
document that is proving it?
it sounded to me like it was some sort of HR investigation,
Okay.
folder of people who like it doesn't sound like it's like uh,
This is like
just
people just
suspected.
talking. Yeah.
Right. Well, and it also doesn't sound like it's just sexual harassment. It's people who have slept with him,
Yeah. So
right?
you're thinking it's like a report that HR is putting together that got leaked.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
the tall guy says, yeah, someone from blah, blah, blah department printed this out, and Finn is like clearly trying to hide this piece of paper from Tracy. He keeps
Yeah.
like grabbing it back from him and he's like, nah.
Yeah. And then, like, while he's doing that, and there's all this distraction happening, Finn tries to back out of dinner with
Mhm.
Elena and Tracy because now it's real awkward with Elena. And Tracy ends up getting this list and he looks it over and he sees that Elena's name is on it.
And had it been like a sexual harassment list, like I don't know, Tracy has this weird reaction. He's like, Elena's on the list. And it didn't seem like he was mad at McGrath for sexually harassing his girlfriend. It seemed like they, like, as the writers, just wanted us,
This is a
along with
list of people
Tracy,
McGrath has slept with.
yeah, to like just jump to that conclusion that, like, oh, Tracy automatically knows Elena's had sex with him now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, he knows in his heart of hearts probably, but he's gonna confront Elena about it and get the information
But
directly
if it
from
was
her.
just a list of sexual harassment can mean a lot of things. It doesn't mean an affair within a student, like a
Yeah.
student.
Yeah. Okay. So he's seen that list, and you might be thinking to yourself, what a weird time. Like at this point in this episode, you might be thinking, like, what a weird time to bring this up. Because they've been sitting on this
Mhm.
for an entire season and what, 7 episodes? So it's
Yeah.
like, why now? Now, it'll make sense when we see how things come out about Finn and Elena. But I do wonder, this couldn't have been the master plan since like the beginning of season 2, right? I don't know when they decided that this is how this information was going to come out. They've just been sitting on it for a long time. But I guess It's certainly, I don't know how they mapped this one out in the writer's room.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel as we're talking about it, like more things seemed a bit forced than I originally thought while watching it.
But the thing is with this one, okay, maybe forced, but like this reveal, like as where the other things where it's like this feels forced because you're trying to rush something. This, we found out about their affair at what the last episode of season one, right? And then was it the first episode of season two where Elena tells Noel what I did over my summer break? Had an affair with McGrath. It's over. And that's it, right? So they've been and you may be thinking like, when is this going to come up again? In fact, I told you it was going to come up again, and I made you wait
Yep.
basically a season and almost a half
Uh-huh.
to get to this. So they've been sitting on this very big, important information for all of season two. All of Elena's complete lack of storyline. They waited for her to get into a really serious relationship. They waited for her to have an affair, and then they were going to bring it up so that the affair could be outed. Holy
Yeah,
moly.
no, I agree. This was not a master plan. This was someone in the writer's room was like, how do we bring this out? And someone was like,
We're
remember
going to
that
swing
guy?
it.
Yeah, no, I think this was forced in a different way. This was a moment of convenience that they pulled from an earlier season.
And they are going to expand on both of these elements. So it's not just going to be a thing where the McGrath reveal allows for the Finn reveal and then it's done.
Yeah.
They're gonna get there's a little more juice to squeeze out of this. So they obviously, the writers, like when they were breaking story and they figured out what was going to happen for different characters, they wanted this to come out, and they worked it so this would all come out in the right order. But goodness,
I know.
it's like, oh yeah, that end, like we were saying earlier, with an audience that you watched this when it aired
Yeah.
once a week.
They're like, who is
Yeah.
McGrath?
Most people watching the show at this point probably had absolutely no clue what the storyline was about.
Yep. Return of Professor Old Man Smell.
Mm-hmm.
That guy.
I mean, they did like nothing to try to set this up. So I wonder how many people even knew what they were talking about with this. But, well, we all know now because we're big fans and we've rewatched and we're rewatching now. But
Reruns. I mean, there were reruns over the summer and stuff, so I guess people could have watched those.
I guess so, but it would have been reruns from 2 years ago. I don't know. It's like, well, maybe.
Usually, yeah, they had those like marathons where they just like play back-to-back episodes until like the new season aired.
Mm-hmm. They would have been really banking on that for this, because
Must
otherwise,
have been.
who's McGrath? Why does this matter?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the weirdest. So okay, so Elena and Noel.
And Noel has totally gone off the deep end. He's got just handfuls of printed emails. Just walking down the hallway, handful of Jane's emails, all printed.
Just reading off every single thing he's learned about all these details. And Elena's like, you are not getting away with this.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with Noel?
I know. He's like, I've got all of this information. She's like, people don't have instructions. He's like, well, let's test that. And so he's like, yoga, let's start there.
So he's going to show up at yoga class. There's Jane. Nope. He's going to start quoting her. He's reading the same book she is reading, which was called Raise High, the Roof Beam Carpenters.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it either. He invites her to get Indian food because she knows she loves it so much. And she's like, oh, look at all these coincidences. How about this?
Oh, I'm just like, really? Like he shows up late. He sits behind, he puts his mat out behind her. And then we never get to see him actually try yoga, which I'd really like to see because
Yeah.
he's definitely going to fall at some point.
Yeah. Guess so. No, come on, man.
Also, Jane, come on.
Well, I don't know. I mean, should Jane have known? She
I
hasn't
don't,
thought about this guy
maybe,
for a second.
I don't know. It's like the yoga plus the reading the same book plus Indian food. Like, all right, I'll give her a pass.
Maybe
But
once.
next
Yeah.
next scene,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
he word for word quotes her email back to her, yeah,
He's a lot. All right. Sean and Megan.
yeah,
Megan has bought all kinds of groceries for him in the hospital. It's
yes,
like, oh,
she's
you've
been
really done your
all about,
mitzvah. He's using
yeah.
the lingo.
And she was like, yeah, and it was great when I got 10% off because I told the guy I was going to convert to Judaism. And Sean's
Just,
kind of moping around, and all of a sudden,
he perks
he
up.
perks right up.
Yeah. Would you do that? You'd convert to Judaism? Megan's like, no, no, I'm not. I'm
Absolutely
not
not.
doing that. That's
No,
not a thing.
no.
And then he says, well, I guess we'll have to break up then.
And she's like, what the? He's like, look, I want my kids to be Jewish. It, how could it possibly work between a deeply religious Jew and a witch? And then we have the worst pun ever.
Yeah, I don't want them to be. I want them to be Jewish, not Jew-witch. I mean, they worked it in. They got it. Triple bonus
Somebody,
points. It was like you could tell that that was the joke they wanted to get into the script, and it was like, who can do it?
yep,
They did it.
yep, they did it.
So there's that. Um, Sean doesn't know how to do things halfway now, does he?
He really does not. No, no.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
Megan's just like, screw you, grabs her purse, grabs the wine, and just leaves, which I think is probably the best reaction to have because it was such a ridiculous situation, except I went to high school with someone who did the exact same thing, only he was Christian and his girlfriend was Jewish, and he dumped her after like 3+ years of dating because he was like, "You're not Christian. I can't date a Christian. Like, I can't marry someone who's not Christian." I'm like, "Then why were you dating for like 3+
And
years?"
in this situation, too, all of this is exacerbated by the fact that Megan has never been like this in a relationship, probably ever. I mean, how vulnerable has she gotten with Sean over the last few couple episodes? He got really sick. She got really worried. She's obviously been taking care of him in all kinds of ways. And then he starts giving her these grocery lists. And then he's like, I need candles. I need this. I need that. And she's doing all of it. And she cares about him. And I'm willing to bet she's never done anything like this level of care and support for anybody she's dated. And
Or maybe anybody.
or maybe anybody in her world ever. And then, for him, after all of this, for him to be like, you fundamentally don't work for me.
Yeah.
Just like, what?
But it's also so Sean. He he just went so far overboard with this. And
Yeah.
then it was like he was sad. You could tell he was sad.
But
And
he's like, it can't be. We're the
I
Romeo and
know,
Juliet of a modern era. It's like, no,
right.
you're not.
I
You're not.
just, yeah. It's,
I don't know. He
yeah.
I really, as weird and awkward and funny as this is, and like it's also, I just really feel for Megan because I'm like,
Yeah.
what does this woman have to do?
But I mean,
She's all in.
I know. And I'm glad he had somebody there to talk to, but like I can tell you, I mean, I guess if it's sort of I can't say a conversion like this, but like a religious experience like this, like I I understand like wanting to have kids of a certain faith, and like, if you're Orthodox, or like, it is a thing, and it's a like, religion is very, very important. It just, there's something so ridiculous about Sean doing this so quickly, that and it doesn't seem real, I guess, because he does rethink it. That, I don't know. I'm glad that Meghan could just sort of brush it off and be like, okay, like, I get it, it's Sean. But I'm also, I guess, also not gonna fault some people who, do have very deeply held beliefs and do want, their kids raised in a certain religion, for looking for someone of that same religion. It's just, I guess, don't the thing that gets me is when, I've had a number of friends do this, where it's like, I'm just going to date whoever, but then when I'm actually thinking about marriage and kids, I'm not going to date outside my faith.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, then why were you dating the other people in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you had such deeply held beliefs, and all of them included no sex before marriage, which you broke, like, why now? Like, why is this the thing?
Yeah. I will say that this doesn't directly address anything that you were just saying, but I think if we're also looking at like sensitivity around addressing religious issues here, I do want to say that we will get more of the Sean pursuing Judaism storyline. So I don't want anybody to sit here think like, if this is a first watch, or if you haven't watched it in a while and you don't remember, they're not trying to say he's this quick to abandon it. That they'll give us more. They're going to explore it. And I actually think they're going to give us more depth to his exploration of this religion than we'll get in most other shows ever. So like, I think we'll get to see some different cultural things here in episodes coming up, which I'm glad about. I'm glad that they explore it in the show. But if you're just sitting here thinking like, oh my, how fair weather he is about this, there's more to come. If you want to see more of this storyline, you'll get it.
Yeah, I appreciate him towards the end, where he's like, well, I'm really going to have to think about this and how important it is to my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess I figured the plot line continued. It's not that I thought that he wasn't having a real experience. It's just the way he went about it.
Yeah, it's your classic Sean, like, all in or all nothing. It's just it's like that's how he does this everything, and that's how he's doing this. So we're gonna get this really dancing around the edge scene here with Elena and Tracy. We're at Elena's apartment. I appreciated getting this little tracking shot of Elena walking from their laundry room to her room, because it was like, ooh, what else is in this apartment? But they just sort of gave us a hallway and then her room. Tracy is going to confront her about McGrath, but doesn't name McGrath at first. So she thinks they're having a conversation about something else. It's that classic tension. And
but he says, mad, right? Like, he comes in hot.
Is it true? And she's like, yeah.
And she like immediately apologizes.
Because she thinks he's talking about Finn.
Right. But imagine Tracy coming in, and if the question on the table was like, did this professor sexually harass you? Mm-hmm. She wouldn't be apologizing, which is what makes me think
that it was just like a list of people who slept with McGrath. Yeah. So that makes sense. So, and they have to have him come in hot, because if she has to think that he's talking about Finn, because she's almost going to spill the beans here. And she starts to apologize. And then he goes, McGrath?
And she's like, wait, what? Huh? That guy?
Now, this is a surprise to Elena, because Elena has not had a relationship with McGrath for a very long time, as we've just said.
Years.
So it's like, what? How would you even know about? Like, her wheels are now turning in a totally different direction from where they were before. And in fact, I mean, she was supposed to be going into, so she's just like, I thought we were talking about this thing. but we're talking about this?
Yeah.
Wait, what? And what I appreciate about, so Tracy is sort of just saying, I thought we told each other everything. He's
Yeah,
having
he's
this
mad.
revelation.
He's like,
Yeah.
like, why didn't you tell me? Like, I thought we told each other everything.
Yeah.
And he's so hot that he doesn't like, it doesn't even compute for him that her reaction is not matching what he has been talking about.
Yeah. I mean, if he really sat with this, he'd be like, wait, when you started apologizing,
Right.
what did you think I was talking about?
Yeah.
So they're both having their own separate world happening in the same room right now and their own separate conversation happening. And she's like, no, sorry, I'll tell you everything from now on. It's fine, it's fine. Like, whatever. McGrath? Like they're
Yeah.
both just sitting there thinking McGrath for two totally different reasons. I do kind of like that the choice that Donald Faison made was you can just see this look of sort of like he's just totally grossed out.
Yeah. He is tunnel buddies with McGrath now. He's like,
It's not okay.
it's not okay. It's really not. He's like, I'm not going to take it too seriously, but it freaks me out.
Yeah, like I don't know, Elena. I just yeah. Like they didn't necessarily give him dialogue around him being grossed out, but it was a real choice to hold his face that way for the
Yeah.
whole scene. He's like obviously seeing things very differently right now. I'm just like, oh, Tracy.
And this just, it reminds me of course, my favorite show to watch, just over and over, Frasier, with their Frasier, if you haven't watched that, is a continuation of Cheers, which if you watch all of it is 21 seasons long. So yes, I have. And there's this guy, Cliff Clavin, and I guess I don't know. He's not quite McGrath, but he's kind of like, oh man, he's not the best liked. He's the person who's always correcting everyone, and he's a mailman. And he's really proud of that. And you get to this. So Cliff isn't even in. I mean, he's in like one episode of Frasier, and you get, I don't know, 5 seasons into when Cheers has ended. And there's this great season where the main character from Cheers shows up, the bartender, and he's talking to Frasier, and then the woman that he's seeing shows up, and it turns out Frasier has slept with her. And so he's all worried that, Sam is going to get upset that he slept with this woman. And she's like, she's starting to come clean. She's like, I know it was stupid. I was drunk. And I slept with, and she ends up saying Cliff. And both of them look at each other and look at her, and the look of disgust that comes over their face. They're like, Cliff?
Yeah.
And then for the rest of the episode, they're just like, I can't believe I slept with someone who slept with Cliff. And he breaks it off. It's over. The
So
end.
I also think it's worth pointing out, because you had mentioned the term tunnel buddies. Well, I think another thing that's happening here too, if you're Tracy has not slept with Elena. He's still a virgin.
That is true.
So think about what that means, because like, okay, if you're going to give a list of partners you've slept with before, Tracy's list is 0.
Yeah.
Elena's list is long. We don't know how long it is, but we know it's pretty long as per her own estimation. And on it
includes
is McGrath. So like, what are all the things that could bring up for a virgin? It's like, who am I with? Like, like, I don't know if he's thinking, how do I compete with that? How do I perform up to those standards? Like, what standards does she even have?
Nuh-uh. I think he's just going, oh, ew.
Yeah, but you could also have this going on, like where it's just like, like there's ew, and then there's like pure intimidation at how deep does this list go and where does it go? Like
he went there from his face. For me, all it read was Ew.
Yeah, I definitely saw ew. I definitely saw ew. But I think if he sits with this, it's like, who is on her list? I
What?
mean,
I mean,
like, my God.
he definitely is judgy. I didn't like how he came at her for this
Yeah.
at all. Like
Yeah.
the fact that he was mad, the fact that he didn't clarify what sexual harassment meant, the fact that like I get that she was apologizing at first because she thought it was Finn, and then I think she continued to apologize because of Finn. Now, had
Yeah.
Finn not been a factor and he walked in and approached her about McGrath like this, she would have been like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're judging me for someone I slept with several years ago, and I've been so patient with
Well,
you."
I think part of what has to be spinning in her brain right now is there's a list circulating. Like
Yeah.
everybody's seeing this list, and maybe this is from HR. What is she now getting dragged into? So I think if it were me, one of the things I'd be thinking would be like, oh my God, what kind of storm is about to erupt on that front, let alone the storm she knew about.
Right.
This is like, this is very public. It's obviously circulating widely, and her name's on it. So, like, everybody she encounters could know about
All her
this.
grades. He was her
Yeah.
professor. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So there's going to be a lot of stuff that, and this is going to be something she thinks about. They don't really show you that here, but it is naturally something that you like. This list is public, so
Yeah.
what is this about to do to her life? Um, so I want, probably some of it is like she's feeling guilty about the Finn stuff. And I don't know that she's feeling guilty about the McGrath stuff, but she is like, what holy hell is about to be unleashed on me on that
Yeah.
front now? Did I even have the bandwidth like
Yeah.
for any of this, let alone both of these things? So I feel like this next scene was one. So, okay, we're at the loft. Felicity and Ben are together. Dad comes over because Ben wants to try again now.
And Ben is just smiling.
Mm-hmm.
Like Felicity's, putting a pillow behind him and he's just like all smiley. And again, this is why I think he's on so many painkillers.
Yeah. Well, he is on some painkillers. We're going to find out.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but we don't know what or how
Yeah.
many.
Yeah. It's definitely Felicity is feeling very awkward. We can see that, but she's not really trying to like get in the way. She's letting Ben's dad and Ben play and have fun, and they're playing basketball. And
She does have this super awkward laugh at one point that I was just like, ooh, that like first she's like, it's fine, and then he's like comes in and her dad's saying, oh, like she's my liaison and I'm indebted, and she has this like awkward laugh.
when there's like, yeah, that's why I love her. It's like, wasn't she great? It's like, oh God, we
Yeah.
can't with this side by side Covington situation.
Yep.
Um, so Ben, everything hits the fan when Ben gets up. He says, I need to get a pain pill. She's like, no, I'll get it for you. And he's like, no, I also have to go to the bathroom. Can't do
Yeah. Can't do that.
that. Dang it. So now Ben vacates the room. Felicity and Dad are now alone.
Uh,
And Ben's dad clearly has been waiting for this moment because he immediately swoops in. He's like, I just, about what happened.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean, just the stuff out of his mouth. He's like, "Thank you." You clearly haven't told Ben. He starts justifying it. He's like, "I'm sorry. I was alone. I began to feel like so hopeful with you around, and like, thank you so much." And Lucy's just like, we don't need to go over this.
yeah.
It's done." And he just keeps going and go, and she's like, I'm uncomfortable. And this moment when he starts coming over and saying all this stuff to her is when I really felt it. Like the tension she had even before Ben left the room, like she just looked so tense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we get this just shot. It pans up and you just see Ben and his father standing side by side like we're Felicity looking at them. And it's so creepy.
Yeah. And I have to say, when he's talking with her, everything about it is uncomfortable and creepy. But then it just like doubled down when he said, thanks for not telling Ben. Something about that. It was like everything he had said to that point was uncomfortable. But then to then be like, thanks for keeping the secret. It's like, you jerk.
Interesting. I didn't have that reaction. I actually thought he was gonna, like, after he ran away, there'd be another scene where he's like, please don't tell Ben. Um, because he
No,
never
just something
asked her.
about that. It's like, good girl, you've kept this secret. I was like,
Uh,
oh, that is so gross. Everything is gross here. And that's another gross thing. Gross. I just
I don't know.
You
I
want
guess
her to
I
keep this a
didn't.
secret from Ben? Come on, man.
She already is keeping it a secret. And
She is. And
so
he's
for
giving
me,
her a positive like reinforcement about it. And it's like,
yeah,
no, no, man.
I don't know. I guess I didn't see it any more or less creepy as any of the other things he was saying, all of which were
Yeah.
creepy. But but I get it. I mean, if I was him, I'd be like, thanks for not like busting me, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah. So now we're gonna get okay, Felicity is in the bathroom, that tiny bathroom set.
Yeah, so
And
tiny. They changed the painting too on the
how about
wall.
that? That's
I know,
nice.
right?
So, of course, we're going to have to ramp up the awkwardness here. So, Ben says, look, got these tickets to a play with my dad, but I can't go. Can you go for me? That'd be great. I mean, you can't just let these tickets go to waste. Sure, you can.
I thought he got tickets for him and Felicity to go to a play, but now he can't go. So he's like, will you take my dad?
It could be. It could be something like that. There are two tickets. Ben
Yes.
asks Felicity to go with
And
his
she's
dad.
like, no, I really don't want to do that. He's like, look, they were expensive. I'm like, dude, sell them.
Yeah, like this isn't really a reason to go.
Yeah.
Um,
And he says, please do it for me. And she says, yes. And this harkened, like, this goes directly back to where she was like, please give your dad one more chance for me. And he said yes.
yeah.
So I
This
feel
do
like
it
she
for
had a
me
little
stuff. It's just
guilt.
bad peer pressure happening here.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
So we're gonna get another Meghan Molly scene. They're getting tight. Sean broke
Are
up with
they?
me.
Are they?
Molly seems to be hearing everybody's biggest deal,
Yeah.
like
And says nothing in return. I mean, Megan's there, broke up with me because I'm not Jewish. I was vulnerable and whatever. Molly says nothing about herself.
true, because the writers
Zero
don't know. The
things.
writers don't know until like the very end of this episode. They don't know who she is.
She is still a non-entity for me. It's just creepy. She's a ghost,
They
just
finally gave you
floating.
pertinent information for her at the very end of this
Yeah.
episode that will tie in with like if you for people who remember the show really well, if you think about Molly, what you're probably going to remember is what they're setting up now.
And we know there was drugs in the apartment, and now we know that she either, I don't know whether that was an AA or an Al-Anon meeting. I'm
I
assuming
assumed
it
it
was
was
Al.
Al-Anon because they only named Al-Anon.
Yeah, that was my assumption.
Yeah.
Um,
So this isn't there's not much to this. I think they're just keeping Molly integrated. So Megan's talking about how Sean broke up with her and then she drinks the gross wine
yeah, and
and
realizes that
got it.
cooking wine has salt in it. Ew.
Yeah, and that's pretty much that. But they're just kind of keeping Molly in the fold for the moment. Um, okay. Noel.
We're back to your favorite plot line.
Noel and Elena are at Epstein Bar. Noel is reading Jane's email,
Mhm,
just reading her email, a printout to Elena.
mhm.
Elena interrupts by saying, I cheated with Finn. That's a lie that I've been holding on to and like a secret I've been holding on to. And I was like, oh my God, Finn? Finn? Tom Cruise want Finn?
Yeah.
I like that
Also,
they just call him
never,
that.
I know, I never thought of him as Tom Cruise. Like, I don't see it, but okay.
Well, the show did. They obviously cast him
Apparently.
for this purpose, I guess. So he he's like, well,
He's
who
like,
else
who?
knows?
Yeah.
She says only you. And so I guess the point of that, I mean, she's just unloading and releasing because she has to, but also it's like secrets are bad.
Well, I feel like, so Noel's reading the emails and he's like, I'm reading the emails because I'm a monster, right?
Mhm.
I feel like she feels comfortable saying this because he's doing something so inappropriate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like they've both done really bad things. So she's like, "Well, you can't judge me, you monster."
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. So Noel's gonna make a deal that neither of them is going to keep in this episode, which is, all right, I'll tell Jane what I'm doing, you tell Tracy. And she's like, this is not an equal
Yeah.
impact sort of arrangement here. Um,
I have a little more to lose than you.
yeah,
You, girl, you don't
barely
really
know.
know, and me, I don't know how long I've been dating this guy, but I know I haven't been getting any.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a little.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to head back to the hospital now. Sean's reading. Is it the Torah?
I would
What's he
assume.
reading?
Yeah.
So he's reading the Torah. He's all in.
Yep.
And his neighbor in the neighboring bed identifies himself. He's like, I'm a rabbi, and I just have to interject.
Yeah. I have a question. I have some questions.
I
I have
just
some
feel
questions
like
for
you
you.
need some guidance in this situation, and I'm going to jump in unsolicited because you need it, man.
Yeah.
What happens if you relapse? This little deal you made with God. Like, what happens? What happens if
Yeah.
something else bad happens to you with your relationship with God?
Yeah. He's like, God is not a crash diet. It's he's not a fad. It's a way of life, you
Yeah,
know?
a way of life that you
So
can maybe pursue with the girl you just broke up with. He's like, propose
potentially.
to her.
Yeah. Well,
Just
he's like, do you love her?
yeah,
And Sean's like, yes, I love her. Well, then propose. And Sean's like, are you sure you're a rabbi?
yeah.
Is that is that okay? Can I do that?
It's
Clearly
nice
he
that
is
Sean has a
reformed.
moment of wisdom. I mean, I think the wisdom itself, some things made sense to me, some things were a little overboard, but I would say like Sean needed somebody to say everything in moderation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Um
that was his version of everything in moderation. I liked it. So we're gonna get
now
Elena and Tracy.
and I'm just gonna start at the top. Great hair, great outfit. Good job, Elena. Take it away, Melissa.
I guess we're supposed to think that Elena's going into this considering revealing her, infidelity to Tracy, because that's the deal she sort of maybe almost kind of made with Noel just then. So
Yeah.
we think that she's trying to work her courage up to say that. And she starts to. She's like, sit down, Tracy. It's been great being your girlfriend. I great to know you.
Yeah.
Like you can see that she's setting herself up for the fall here. And he's like, wait. No. I just want to hold on. Just let me talk first. I
He
wrote a
gets
poem
so
for you.
excited. He gets so excited. He's so cute. I just love Tracy.
And Tracy recites a poem that he's created for her.
It's terrible.
It's
It's
not a
the
good poem.
worst poem ever. I
It's
don't care.
he's not a poem writer, okay? That's it. He's not a poet. That's what the real word is. Nobody says poem writer. People say poet though, and that's what I just corrected myself to. He's not a poet. So
That's
it's cute
okay.
though.
It's so cute.
It's the
Yeah.
gesture that counts, and it totally takes all of the courage right back out of Elena's. Like she can't interrupt this to tell him the truth.
Mm-mm.
No apology happens here. You know who else doesn't apologize or reveal any important information?
I'm gonna go with Noel.
It's going to be Noel. We're going to get a Noel and Jane dinner or lunch or whatever they're having it. It's Indian food. It's the thing they're doing.
Hmm.
And Noel's in the middle of comparing graphic design to Pilobolus, which I guess is a dance group.
That's what she said. Like a dance troupe. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's already breaking his own rules. He certainly doesn't seem like a good way to tell her that you've been reading her emails if you're just going to start
No.
bringing up stuff that she loves.
But see, then he gets himself into some trouble because he had forgotten about something called follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Perhaps some more research upon the internet box
Yeah.
would have helped.
Yeah. So she's going to ask him about his interest in Pilobolus. And he's like, you know what? Hey, let me defer. So he switches direction and he says, hold on a second. Like, I just have to tell you the truth. About what? He says, look, this food is great and all, but what I'd rather be doing is making love to you, which is a line that he read from her email of what she wanted a guy to say to her.
Directly ripped from her
Ripped
email.
straight word for word. This man has not yet realized that every time he has ever quoted anybody's advice or anything anybody has ever said to him directly to his partner, it's not worked out.
Yeah.
Why hasn't he figured out this pattern? I don't know. And it's definitely not going to work if you're quoting the person to the person. She slaps him.
Yeah. And I wasn't sure exactly why she slapped him, whether she didn't want him to be saying that, or what I really thought happened was she realized it was her email. Like, I thought she had that moment of realization that,
I don't think that's what they were trying to set up there. What they were trying to do.
Clearly were not, because later she apologizes. But in my mind, I was like, oh, she finally gets it.
That might be a failing of that.
Later.
that might be a failing of that, because they were trying to get him just revealing the saying her line, and then I think they were trying to get her thinking, shame, like, you asshole. But
that is not how it came off to me.
Yeah, I think that ends up being a problem then. It's a point of confusion they probably should have worked through more than they did in the writer's room.
I did like that she slapped him. I just thought it was for a different reason.
She's feisty.
She is. She's Tyra Banks.
She sure is. Feisty. She's Jane. So Felicity and Ben, we're going to come up on another scene with them now. And it's, 10 minutes before Felicity's supposed to go meet Ben's dad for this play that they're supposed to see. Felicity is feeling sick. She is trying to make an excuse. The dog ate her homework. She's not feeling comfortable with it. Ben is seeing the vibe. He's feeling the vibe. And he's like, what happened? Tell me what's going on.
Yeah. He's like, what's wrong?
And she says, no, nothing. And he's like, tell me. She says, look, he just makes me uncomfortable. Ben says a couple times, did he do something to you?
And she says no the first time. And the second time he asks, silence.
He knows. He doesn't know what happened, but he knows. He knows his dad. Like, he knows this situation. He knows what Felicity, like, he can feel the discomfort. He knows Felicity, and he just leaves. He obviously on a mission.
He literally takes his sling off to leave, which is what made me think he's going to try to punch him with a broken arm. Like, why would you take your sling off? Just wear the sling.
You wear the sling.
You're walking.
Yeah. It's fine. Wear the sling. But he's not wearing the sling.
No.
He's going to confront his dad, who's in a restaurant, like a nice restaurant. So was Felicity supposed to meet this guy in a restaurant?
Have dinner before
this is awkward. Can you even imagine? Awkward. So Ben is now in this nice restaurant, and he's going to confront his dad,
who is sitting down, and Ben is standing up above him.
Yeah. And Ben is saying, Felicity's too uncomfortable to be with you. What did you do?
And his dad is going full gaslight. Like, just full on blaming Ben.
The second thing he said here bothered me so much.
Say it.
So he says, I was upset. You refused to see me. You jerk.
Yeah. You refused to see me. I was talking about you. I got sad, and we hugged.
She reached out. She was, and then I sort of kissed her.
But I came to be here in your life. Like, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I'm worried about you.
All you.
God, this guy. When he said, you refused to see me, I almost lost it.
I
I
know.
almost threw all my highlighters across the room in one shot in a bad way, because highlighters are never thrown for a good reason. Sometimes it's because you read the wrong Invisible Man. Sometimes it's because of this.
Yeah.
I I was like, you were the I don't know who's the worst fish, but for me, Ben's dad, you're the worst. You refused to see me, and so I kissed your girlfriend or tried to. Nope. 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 Ew. It's bad
Yeah.
enough what you did, Ben's dad. But like, this is not Ben's fault at all. Like,
Correct. Which is why
oh,
it was such a letdown when it was like, he's like, I came, Ben's dad is like, I came here to be in your life. And all Ben does is say, I don't want you in my life. And he doesn't even say it in an angry way. He doesn't take a swing at him. He doesn't, I mean, you said resolute,
there was
but
an
like,
importance in the way he said this to me. He says, I don't want you in my life. And I think for me, it was a really important, like, there isn't wiggle room here, sir. It was just like, um, that's not, no, I don't want that. And it's important that he's there because a minute ago he did want that. He did want his dad to, like, he wanted to give him another shot. That's
he did
gone.
give him another shot.
Yeah. And that's gone now. He's like, don't you even. I like that he didn't um rebut or address any of the crap his dad just said, because that's just not it. Like,
Yep.
the point here is that I don't want you in my life, and so I should not engage. Like, I felt like he was kind of having that angle. The next exchange, though, is also really important. So his dad, after all this, says, I love you.
Yeah.
And we're going to see, and I want to say it happens in season 4, that the words I love you are very, very loaded for Ben in this way for this reason. Like,
Yep.
probably a lot of times, and like, this is an example of probably a lot of times in his life when his dad did something really shady that hurt him very much. And then he came back and said, all this, and then I love you. And so Ben has this association with the words I love you. And we're going to come in like a later season. We're going to see a little bit of that. So I want you to remember this moment.
Yeah, I have a little bit of this in my life. Not so much the I love you, but the like the you do something really shitty and then like you're gonna hug me and say that like I'll thank you one day.
Ugh.
Nope. No, I'm not. Guess what? Not. It's one day. One day passed. Like it was a while ago and I didn't say thank you then. I'm not saying it now and I won't say it ever.
Yeah.
So like I feel this moment where it's just like I don't know. For me, like this, I don't want you in my life. Great. Resolute, final, very mature, not the guy who just put some guy in the hospital. This is not the
No,
same Ben here.
no,
Like,
it's not. And I just can't help but think, um, I mean, yeah, it could be bad writing, but it could also be Ben's never been able to be that guy with his dad, which is why he has to be that way with everybody else.
I mean, it could be, but they haven't given me enough
Okay.
to like make that case.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he still was like looking down at the ground and stuff like that when his dad was around, but man, I just can't imagine that he isn't angry and doesn't in some way through his words or his actions like want to hurt his father
Yeah.
and that it doesn't come across.
You know what interests me about this scene is I feel like this scene is a template that we all look at and put our own stuff onto it. I have a feeling everybody who watches this gets immediately transported to some sort of crappy situation in their own life. where they pick a different line that is like, that's a no, 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 no. And I bet it's different for a little bit different for all of us. And I think this scene ends up having a lot of impact, not because of our own lives
Yeah.
as viewers. And I feel like what you're layering onto it, I get it, and I can hear it, and it's not like a far twist from stuff that I'm putting onto it. But I think we're both picking up slightly different language and layering onto it. Like, I remember when that was said to me, and it's a scene that's so in some ways so like it's not cluttered, and because of it,
It's a bit
God,
universal.
it brings you back to your worst moments, doesn't it? Gaslighting is just I'm not for it. If you're a
Yeah.
gaslighter, you're
We're
out.
we're both anti-gaslighting.
We're very anti-gaslighting. And if you're pro gaslighting, get out of our space. I just don't when I hear gaslighting now, I hear it so clearly and I'm not about it. Um
Yeah.
it's
I don't
just
know. I feel like I was inoculated against gaslighting pretty early on, so it's like, all right, yeah, whatever. Like move it along. Some of the other stuff though for me is still like, okay, that I'm not okay with.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
You refuse to see me. Screw you. I can't. I can't.
But we're this episode is not over.
No, it is not. You'd think it might be after all this. But so
But
we're
it's
going to go
not.
back to the loft, and Felicity's going to be coming in the door to see Ben taking the basketball net down.
I mean, not very well, but like
It's awkward.
one-handedly with no
Yeah.
sling, just sort of like wrecking it and leaving it on the wall.
Yeah.
Love that again, Felicity with the red jacket. Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Ben is going to come over, and there's just this, I don't know, this wound, this open wound. I don't even know whose wound it is anymore. Ben just comes to her and says, I'm just sorry you had to deal with that. I'm sorry.
And
It's
she's
not
gonna
his to
turn
be sorry
around.
for.
Yeah, first of all, but also on her side, she's like, it's okay, I'm fine. Like, don't worry about me. Well, you're not fine. It's not okay. And he can worry about you.
It's
Like,
so tricky, right? Because it's like she's just not wanting to add it. I felt in that moment that she was trying not to add another thing to his plate because she doesn't know what he even just did.
right.
So
Maybe
it's
ask a
like
question.
I don't even like it just felt like she was just trying not to load more. But you're right, she's not fine. Like
No.
she's gonna need to work this through. But then Ben sits down and is very revealing about where he's at right now. He's like, I want to kill him. I feel like I'm
Yep.
going to explode.
I have kerosene all over me. And at any moment, someone will touch it off.
And she comes over to him and she starts anecdotal. It's like she knows she wants to give him some pamphlets. It's like I can't just give him pamphlets. So she says, "Hey, remember a couple years ago, we were sitting in this fairy loft and we were carving pumpkins, and you told me about your dad, and I kind of thought I got it, and I didn't.
And you still don't.
And it goes a lot deeper than that. And then she says, Look, please don't be mad at me for doing this, but I wanted to give you these pamphlets." And she's got, I don't know, however many pamphlets she has there, probably one from Al-Anon, probably, she's probably found a few different resources. And he gets his back up a little bit on this. He's like, I don't need a group. I don't need a group. I'm not the problem here. Like, the problem is I need a new dad. And I like that she says, yeah, but that's not going to happen though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's kind of like, he's feeling his first instinct is to feel like she's telling him the problem is with him and he needs to fix himself. And she's saying, look, I care about you. You just said all these things about how you feel and they don't sound good. And I don't want you to feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
feeling like you're going to explode, not fun.
Also saying you're going to kill people. not a good thing,
It's not a fun place to be in.
regardless of who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he says, stop treating me like I'm the one who's messed up. But then you're messed up.
Yeah.
Like,
Which isn't the thing to say to him in this moment, but that's true.
yeah.
I think it's
And she
like
says it very,
she's
she doesn't
delicate.
say that. She's like, it's not about you, babe, being messed up.
It's
It's
about the
me
pain you're
caring
feeling.
about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
he's
you're
just
feeling
like,
a lot of pain.
yeah.
And what if maybe there's somebody who can help? Like it's clearly not.
Uh-huh.
Like I so I know this is probably too little too late for you in terms of what we're seeing here, but I think this you've been wanting her to I don't know. I think like this is my note from an optimist. I think look, we all need help sometimes. Help might look a little different for different people in different situations. This is probably something that help looks like for Ben in this moment. He needs resources of people who understand this situation. I think it's great that he's been able to start leaning on Felicity as somebody to start opening up to, which I don't think he ever had. But Felicity has some real limitations here. And you've been saying this for a long time now that like this guy needs somebody to talk to who actually understands what's going on and can relate to what's going on. And I'm glad that she brings these resources to him. I'm glad the show brings these resources to us and articulates them the way that you wanted to when we first opened up this storyline. And I know that you want her to be cautious about other things. I know you want her to be cautious about the violent tendencies he's shown. I want you to be, I know you want her to be trying to raise resources like this with him earlier, but I'm glad that she's doing it now. And I think, you know, we all have moments where we need help. And this isn't necessarily it for everybody in every situation, but asking for help or finding help or seeking community among people who are dealing with similar things is something that can be tremendously useful in a process of dealing with a situation or healing from a situation. And I'm glad they're starting to show us that here.
I agree with that. Um,
Also, I just want to add, like, I think it's especially important that they actually have him go to a group here because for as many times as we said to Julie,
yeah.
go talk to it, she didn't that we ever saw. Like, so to actually see this moment where somebody is seeking that help in a traumatic situation, I think is very important.
It is very important. And I think it goes back to what you were saying about her words landing for him, because, his final words in the scene are like, I'm not going. But like he does. And you're absolutely right. This is exactly the kind of thing that I was hoping she'd do is this is the role you can play. Like, I'm here to listen and support you, but I can't do all of this because I haven't been through this. Here are people who can help you. Like, here are people you can at least talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Someone, I mean, you don't even have to phrase it as help you. You can just say, like, here's some people who've been through the same stuff.
And she's
Be
saying,
there.
in addition to her, like there she is sitting with him on the couch. Talk to these people. It's not saying talk to these people and never talk to me again about it. It's, you've got me, but these people are probably going to be very useful in other ways, like that I
Yep.
can't be. So it's like, now look at all the resources you can have. Like, so many people can be supporting you.
And it is, like, I would say the saving grace of this episode that he does actually go, because one of the things that has been bothering me this whole time with him is his refusal to get help along the way. I mean, he kind of gave in to Pavone like a little bit, but like through all of his issues, he's just like, I won't get help. Like, that's his knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
Is just no. And I think that's true of
A lot of
a
people.
lot of people, if
Yeah.
not most people. because there's a lot of stigma attached to it, especially in the US. Um, and so, the fact that he's open to this and we see him doing it is, I think, a real, I don't know, it gives me a little bit of hope,
Well, I
right?
also think that there's hope to be seen in the fact that he articulated in words, I want to kill him. I feel like I'm going to explode. Like there's kerosene all over me. I'm going to explode. When he reveals that to Felicity, it feels like his innermost thought that he's never expressed to anybody. And the fact that he can say it to her, just to start putting the words out there, that he can take it from being a physicalized action that's going to get him in real trouble to putting it in a word that he can say to somebody in the safety of the loft. I think that's probably a big step for him as well. Even though it doesn't feel as good to us watching it, I think he just put it out there just a little bit and she listened. She took it in and she's helping and providing resources to help make that pain a little less for him if she can. But she also just listened to it. And I don't know. I'm glad he did that because it could have come out in a physical violent form. And instead, he took a moment to articulate it. And he's probably going to have to do a lot more of that in group, you know?
Yeah. I don't know that I would call that a hopeful moment for me. It's, I almost felt like he was talking to himself a bit. Um, I mean, she was there, but it's not a small thing to say that you want to kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and being able to say it in words doesn't necessarily mean that like it takes away anything from their impact on you. I don't know. Like
I think it can though. As somebody who used to be very uncomfortable talking to friends about anything or people about anything that was bothering me and who internalized it all, um, it was a very important first step to be able to start saying things to people. And if I look at him in this situation as somebody who's probably never been able to confide in anybody else about what he was dealing with, the level of trust he's got now with Felicity is so massive. I mean, dangerously so. And I think it's good that he's starting to expand his universe of people he can talk to about this. But it's a first step that he is able to release a little, just a little release of saying stuff like this and knowing that there's support for him on the other side of it. Um, Especially if he's able to come about it this way, which is more productive than him actually killing his dad, you know? Like it's
yeah, I I think we're just gonna we'll probably see this differently.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
for me, it kind of felt like a simmer. It kind of
Yeah.
felt like it wasn't necessarily a release. It could build. Um, so I don't know. Like I'm still not feeling 100%. Clearly, I'm not feeling 100% about Ben. What really made me feel a little better was him actually showing up to the meeting.
Yeah.
The I want to kill him line is no, that did not give me more comfort.
Yeah. So, well, okay, we're going to get a little bit more here, and I misappropriated a line to earlier to what happens now. So, dad his dad knocks on the door, which is like the worst possible timing for him ever on the history of the universe. Um, his dad comes in and says, you know, I'm leaving. Ben's like, goodbye.
Yeah. Don't let the door hit you.
Yeah, it's just his dad's like, that's it. Ben's like, what do you want from me? His dad asks for forgiveness. Ben says, I can't give that to you. And then his dad
He
says,
says,
I
I
love
can't give
you.
that to you right now, which I
Yeah.
thought was really, again, this Ben is not the same Ben from like the last episode. It's like, I want forgiveness. I can't give that to you right now. I mean, that's such a measured response.
Yeah. Yeah. And his dad closes with the I love you. And again, that's the loaded part.
And Ben just looks at the floor and like doesn't say anything. And
Yeah.
he's just
Yeah.
like, he's literally just said he'd like this man dead at his own hands.
Yeah. Like
And
this is
now he's
not,
like, well, maybe maybe I can forgive you in the future. Like, no, this doesn't line up for me.
this guy
Like,
didn't read the room. This dad didn't read the room here. I've had somebody deliver I love you and at the wrong time before, as when really what was needed was an apology. And
what's
it
the first? How about asking or apologizing or changing the way you act?
yeah. I also remember just being like, you did not read the room here.
Yeah.
This is not how I feel. And if what you're expecting is a return of that sentiment, you're going to hold it against me if I
Not
don't give it to
happening.
you. That's your problem. Like
Yep.
that, just not. And again, like this very loaded, all this stuff that goes into his dad's "I love yous" is something that is a core wound for Ben. We're
I mean,
going to
at
come
some
back to
point,
later.
it just gets awkward. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, clearly I don't feel the same way.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
Bye.
It's rough stuff.
Please
So
leave.
now we're going to go from this to like the weirdest, lightest scene possible. So we're going to get Meghan and Sean.
Yep.
Sean's going to take the rabbi's advice literally.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he just broke up with Meghan, he's going to propose to her.
Of course. Of course he is.
Meghan just looks at her with question marks in her eyes. What is happening to you right now? Did you or did you not just break up with me? He's like, yeah, but now I'm proposing. It's being with you that's important, says Sean. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's like, what about the whole Jewish thing? And he's like, no, it's you.
It's you.
What do you want? And she's like, I don't know, an apology? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course. It's
Yeah,
the proposal. It's just
yeah.
like, no.
What do you even know what you're apologizing for? It's because
Yeah.
I broke up with you. It's because you broke up with me because I wasn't Jewish. He's like, no, okay, you're right. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So by the end of this, Meghan's saying, well, okay, no to marriage, yes to getting back together.
Yeah. Sean's like, that's what I figured.
Which was the weirdest. So he's like, yeah, that's what I figured. So they leave this on like, yeah, he's gonna keep exploring Judaism. They're gonna stay together. They're just gonna figure it out. Okay, they're gonna figure out what this all looks like, and they're
But he
both agreeing to
does
that.
say to her, like, the thing is, there was this rabbi next to me. He's actually going to tell her, and he's like, he said that if I cared about you, I should propose to you, not break up with you.
Yeah.
And so she's like, all right. He's like, I need to see more time. Yeah, I need more time to see if Judaism is important. And I love her. She just, by this time, he's sitting next to her. He was sitting across from her. Now he's sitting next to her. And she just kind of wraps her body around him and leans down and says, you're so weird. In a way that's just like, it's perfect.
That's exactly what we needed at this moment in the episode.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get to something just horrific. It's just a car crash right in front of us.
Slow-mo car
Finn
crash.
and Tracy. Tracy says to Finn, Elena told me about the affair, and I'm cool with it.
And Finn's like, what? Really?
It's amazing, Tracy. You're just so it wasn't really an affair. Me and Elena, that was just the one time.
Just one time.
Oh.
Yeah, no. It's like Tracy's eyebrows raise and come together in the middle of his forehead. And, well, I guess this is something we'll deal with next time.
This is what?
Yeah.
Like Tracy is only just now.
Yeah.
Like if Tracy really sits with this for a minute, he might think back to when Elena just talked to him and was
Mhm.
apologizing for something before she knew what she was apologizing for. And then there's this, and just a lot of things are going to add up here that weren't quite adding up before, but this is problematic.
Yes.
Poor Tracy.
Not good. It's
And
not good.
then we're going to head over to Dean and DeLuca, where Noel is currently being a terrible busboy,
Yep. That's what I wrote down.
dropping
Terrible.
everything.
Currently losing money for Javier. Or
Yeah.
whoever took over, I guess, is Javier's a student now.
And Jane's going to come in.
Yeah, which
And
really confused me because
yeah.
I thought that she had totally busted him for the whole email
Yeah.
thing.
So
Yeah.
if that was a bust before, this doesn't make sense, but it wasn't. So we're going to get the context for it here. But Jane, first of all, I like that Noel asks, is this a coincidence?
She's like, no, it's
Yeah.
not.
It's no, I came here on purpose. I came here to apologize to you, Noel, creep. Because, I was just saying to a friend of mine recently, I was like, I want a guy to say exactly what you just said. And then there I go slapping. I'm a hypocrite, is what I
Total
am.
hypocrite. Could you find it in your heart to give me another shot,
Oh my God.
another chance?
And
Noel's just like, yeah, that could happen. Yep.
yeah, Fish, yeah, like you've got a little bit more time in front of you of this really uncomfortable situation. Or at least I do, because I find it so uncomfortable.
I just think
What
it's
is
funny.
happening with Noel?
I mean, to me, I'm still on Jane. I'm like, what? Like, are you smart? Are you not? Like, what?
Who knows,
Okay.
really? She's interesting. I'll give her that. We're going to close out here. Ben goes to group, and they don't name it, but I think it's Al-Anon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's got crosses all over the place. Yeah, I would think so.
And it's the only one Felicity gave him a bunch of pamphlets, but the only one that she named for him was Al-Anon.
Yeah.
And the only one that his dad named to her was Al-Anon. So I think they're trying to lead us down the road of this is Al-Anon.
Yeah.
And Ben goes to the group, and they ask him to introduce himself, and he says he's Ben. They say hi, Ben. And we see that Molly is in the room.
Yeah. But we have to remember it is Al-Anon, not, when they talked about, what was it? Cocaine Anonymous, otherwise known as NA, Narcotics Anonymous. Mm-hmm. Like she did say, like her brother was into drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's somehow linked to Al-Anon, or like that's the place she's going.
This is finally something they're going to explore with Molly. They have now landed. They have officially landed on something that is going to become more of a story for Molly. Thank you, writers, for figuring out just now who this person is.
That she's a person, because up to this point, she has basically been a ghost floating about the apartment, not doing anything, and has been creeping me out.
Yeah.
So please do something with this character or get rid of her.
Yeah. So there you have that. Well, Fish.
Yeah.
You have options here for sure. Let's go into the "You're the worst" segment. Who's the worst?
Yeah. I don't really think it needs to be said, so I'm not going to waste any more time on it. That's it.
That was pure apathy.
It's not apathy. It's just there's no question. We've said all the things. Good luck with your recovery and get a new sponsor.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that's going to be Mr. Covington.
Yeah, there, as I said, it did not need to be said.
Well,
Like, it,
there it was. I went ahead and said
yeah,
it. Mr.
you said
Covington,
it.
you're the worst. End of segment.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, I mean, fish, it's time for our favorite segment.
Yeah. Yay.
After you listen to this tape, you have to erase it. We asked, you all answered. We have all kinds of thoughts about Julie that I wanted to
Yeah.
share. I know it's been a minute, but we needed a minute to come up with our fan fiction. And here we are. Got all kinds of cool thoughts here. I'm actually going to start with this isn't directly about Julie as much as it's about our thoughts about where Felicity came down in terms of telling the mom, Julie's
Mm-hmm.
mom. So the first comment here is from at insta.mickey, who says, I agree that Felicity, Julie's close friend of 2 years, was right to call back her mom and tell her she left. Julie didn't ask for her departure to be a secret. She was worried. I would call if it were me.
She didn't ask for it to be a secret. I mean, I guess again, I think I'm still coming down on the side of depends on what kind of relationship I had with Julie's mom and what I understood their relationship to be.
Yeah.
Like, we don't see that.
Yeah, it's very true. Let's talk about Julie's summer. Let's talk about what we think happened. There's a lot of different thoughts here. Let's start with at Felicity Restoration Project. I think Julie was in a hugely complicated situation and probably being really spiteful towards the need for her only when it was convenient. I think she did really spend time, but ultimately the guilt was too much and causes her to leave New York. I know it's been theorized she probably lost touch with the gang, but I think she probably had occasional reunions that weren't in time travel. Laughing emoji. If there were
Ah,
a movie or reunion series, I think it would be important for her to be around.
okay. So I guess that means during the time travel episodes, she comes back?
I don't think she does, but we'll see. I
Oh.
can't remember that she does, but maybe she did, and I just forgot about her. That could be a thing. Um, Here's a thought from at Colleen.tenbus. I think she changed her mind about the kidney donation, but it was already too late. I think she probably wrote some music about it. She hoped the distraction of coming back to school and starting a new academic year would be enough to make her want to stay in New York, but the trauma was too much.
Yeah, that tracks. I could see
Mm-hmm.
that.
Um, at Galinsky underscore just adds some context. I don't know if you know Amy Jo's real life grief for her mom, which led to her decision to leave the show. I think there could have been such potential for her character. Agreed.
I mean, agreed, but also they had quite a while with her on the show where they didn't use her.
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing. They opened up this great storyline for her after like a year of not having one.
yeah.
They're like, bye. Never going to see this through. Well, so we need more thoughts about where this could have gone. So at Aunt Mary 72. I always pictured Julie getting the results and just taking off for home. She spent the summer partying to forget. Returning to New York brings it all back to her, the reality of what she had done. She takes off and goes somewhere she can forget again.
Hmm, interesting. I
Very
never
avoidant.
really saw her as a party girl type.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely the music,
Mm-hmm.
but I could, I guess, I could definitely see her distracting herself.
Yeah, the avoidance of it all, I think, is does resonate that piece. So we have at Queen Shalana 75 who says, the sad part is her mother was only using her, and I believe Julie caught on to that and decided not to donate. But regardless, I'm sure it's something she struggled with. Her character always seemed sad to me, but it could be her real mother passed away in real life, so it came across on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we really like tying it back to Carol here.
I don't know. It's a tough situation all around.
Mm-hmm. Got two more here. We've got one from at Disneyland. it's complicated, but I can understand her decision. I think she spent the summer being a pink Power Ranger.
I like that one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Totally plausible at Disneyland.
Yeah,
All right, we got
love it.
one more.
Love it.
At Ruby and Simba 13. Well, you know my disdain for Julie by now, so I think she stayed the brat that she is and pouted all summer.
I don't know that maybe you do. Did you ever notice weeks and weeks ago there was a message that said like hiding message because maybe offensive or something like that, and I just noticed that you like never responded to it?
I've never seen it.
All right. Well, it was the message from Ruby and Simba about how she felt about Julie,
Oh,
which I clicked on
that's
because I
why
was
I
like,
never got to see it.
yeah, I was like, well, I clicked on it because it had said like it wouldn't show. So like it wouldn't show you either, I guess, unless you clicked on it. I'm not sure how to go through this and actually find it. I can
I'm not
kind of
sure there is a way.
summarize.
Yeah.
I mean, the summary of it was I hate Julie. I'm glad her father's dead.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, wow, tell us how you really feel. And she did.
Yeah.
So, that's just a little context for,
Well, at Ruby and Simba, I missed all that. So all I got was this one. But I hear that you know what? You're definitely not at all alone here. You are in very good company, far better company than I understood before we were doing the podcast, because I never really talked about this show with people. So I never had, Julie was Julie. I don't know. I mean, it bothered me that she went after Ben when
mm,
she knew her friend was like had these really long term feelings for Ben. Um, but after that resolved itself, like I just didn't really feel like I had a reason to. I don't know. I mean, they certainly did not give Julie Emmerich very much to do on this show of season two.
yeah. Okay, I
We
found it.
struggled with having any sort of um, plot line for her. Is this
Yeah.
something that Ruby and Simba 13 wants us to read
I mean, they put it online.
and then hit it?
No, they didn't hide it. It was just hidden in case we didn't want to see it.
Oh, okay. What did they say?
Um, so Ruby and Simba 13 said this was about the season 3, episode 3. And they said, another Julie is a snake episode. She purposefully tells Felicity about spending time with Ben. Oh, you didn't know his dad is missing, and acting like she's his best bud, then having sex with Finn, the Tom Cruise wannabe, behind Elena's back, some snake emoji.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't care if her dad died. She's the worst!
Mm.
Exclamation point.
Yeah, she was really off the rails.
That was a rough episode for
Yeah, Julie
Julie.
was really like lashing out. No, I don't know if
Yeah, I
lashing
think
out's the
I
right
think
word.
part of it. Well, I think the way I put it was like self-destructive, like
Self-destructive
pushing
feels like a really
people
good way to put it.
away.
And it was with everybody. Like she gave
Yes.
almost every single person in their core group a reason to want to push her away.
Yep.
And so it feels very, it wasn't intentional, I'm sure, but it feels so more than subconscious that she was doing
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
I'm like she was thinking about leaving for a while. Like, how am I going to be in this group and deal with this? Like, she just couldn't come to grips with it. She couldn't come to terms with it. And so all these people, she was just pushing them as hard as she could away, because it's like it gave her no other option but to leave. And so we get all these grievances that pile up, and then she leaves, and it leaves us with all these questions, leaves the characters with all these questions, but it also leaves them with like, but you just did all this shady stuff,
I know.
and they don't get to really deal with any of that. But I guess they're concerned enough about Julie that it puts it into context.
I guess.
I hear you
Plus,
at Ruby and
they've
Simba
all got,
13.
yeah. Plus, they've all got their own stuff going on, right?
Yeah, I do. I think, boy, she was so messy at the end there. And I see where it was coming from. I see that there was this like just pure need to, I don't know, she was in so much pain. And it was like, what is the way out of all this? And I don't know. She just brought
Yeah.
down everybody in her pathway in the
I feel like
process.
out of everyone in the show, maybe except for Ben and Anger, like she's the most emotional person. Like her
Hmm.
reactions and her actions come from her emotions.
Hmm.
And so I don't think it was really thought out. I think she just started like reacting and
Yeah.
like just taking really, like she felt bad about herself. She felt bad about the world. She felt angry and guilty, and she just started doing things that would hurt her and everyone else
Hmm.
and then left. And so, yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't give us like the best tied up ending.
No,
Um,
I
but
hear
it's,
you.
you know, life is like that sometimes.
I really appreciate all the feedback we got on this because this is our story to write at this point. And it's interesting how many sort of different directions and different focus areas people had on this. I think some people were really interested in the thing and how things went down with Carol. I think the idea that like what she did to cope, people threw out ideas about that. I think this idea of her maybe rethinking the decision, but it was too late. It was too far
Hmm.
down the road. And then having to like just wait till her dad actually passed,
Yeah.
like, whoa, that one really made me think. Um, oof. So lots of stuff there. None of it fun, but
Yeah, on top of the episode we just had, we thought some light commentary on Julie's demise
I think it's
would
just so great
be.
that we all have these thoughts about it, and we're now putting all this out there into the world. For anybody who listens to this podcast later, you've all contributed possible things to think about for Julie's departure.
Mhm.
I like that. We did it. We did it, guys. We did it together. That's us. We did this thing. All right. Felicity, Optimist versus Cynic. Here we are in
Yep.
force.
Yeah.
Fish.
Yeah.
We have to rate this episode. And
Yeah.
do you want to rate this episode first? How are you feeling?
I mean, sure, mine's gonna be pretty quick
Yeah.
because I hated the episode,
Uh,
and the more we went into it, the more I realized it also wasn't really done that well. So I would say purely for the fact that like Ben got help and some of the laughs, I'll give it a 1.
sure. All right. Well, there you have that.
Yeah.
One
I
out of
mean,
10.
it really should go into the negative numbers because I don't want to see it again. And that's always been my rule is like 0 means that I'm like indifferent between seeing it or not seeing the episode. So it should go into the negative numbers, but I could see watching pieces of it again. So it gets a 1.
Okay. All right then. I am in a very different place from you on this. I have rated this one in the unit of measurement of Princes of Darkness.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Not
That was a very
only not
nice
only did that feel
reference.
like a really cool little line to pick up on, it also accurately describes most of the men in this episode.
Oh, okay. Good.
Let's talk about a
Good.
multiple meaning unit of measurement.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I gave this one 7.1 out of 10 Princes of Darkness, and you've given me
Wow.
pause. Um,
Wow.
but I
Okay.
do have to say that most of where I had a problem in this episode was Noel's stuff because I do not buy it. Like, I don't, why is this happening? Like, I don't get it. I understood everything he did with Natalie. I got it. I understood that. This is so predatory. And the thing is, he's one of those guys that's like, I know this is predatory, but I'm going to do it. It's like, did you hear yourself just then? Think for a second about the words that came out of your mouth, sir.
Mhm.
Um, he, yeah. I don't see how he's here. I don't see how he is here. I don't see. Uh, is this even legal? I just don't even know what's going on here. It's like
Can't be.
it can't be, right? So
No.
I have a real problem with the show giving me this because he's done some impulsive stuff, but he knows way better than this. And they are trying, they're going to, they're, at the end of this storyline, there is going to be this funny little weird turn that they do that they could have done a million other ways.
Okay.
They didn't need this. Okay. So that's like my biggest problem with the episode because I don't believe any of that. But when I look at the stuff that's happening with everybody else, like the Sean and Meghan stuff comes, it's like they've been building into this. I buy what these two characters are experiencing, even as weird as it is, it makes sense for who they are. I think that the Ben and Felicity stuff, I think that they've finally gotten to a point that they needed to get to where Felicity is a little bit more cognizant of the gravity of the situation, that they're giving Ben a resource, that they can start being responsible with the viewers around like how they're shown, like the fact that he's just getting help. I think that's important. The fact that he was open to hearing that from Felicity. So I think all that stuff is good and interesting. I think that the Tracy and Elena stuff is going to turn into some cool things. So in many ways, I consider this a setup episode. It's like
into cool things, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like this is part of a longer term, like what they're doing with those two. And I think it makes sense to me that this is part of their story. And I'm glad they're finally giving us something about McGrath. But I do feel like this is one of those episodes that's more, it's like a middle episode. It's not opening the story. It's not the climax of any particular story necessarily, but it's just sort of like a functional, here's where we are. So okay. Yeah. And I think it's capable in how it's doing that. And the stuff that they're setting up makes sense, except for Noel. So I'm putting it at 7.1 out of 10 Princes of Darkness.
All right. Yeah, we're definitely in a different place, but not our farthest off.
Definitely not. It'd be very, very hard to achieve our furthest off ever again. So, all right. But that's not to say we can't write negative numbers now that I think about it. So, haha. We could potentially get there. So, folks, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you think about all the stuff that's going on here. Send us your feedback or Felicity fan art or anything else you want to share with us at themelissafish@gmail.com. It's Melissa with one L, two S's, themelissafish@gmail.com. And you can also get into the conversation with lots of cool people talking about the show on our Instagram at Felicity Podcast. And then if you want to know when we drop a new episode of our podcast, you can get a newsletter sent to you when that happens. So all you have to do is check wherever you're listening to this podcast, look at the show notes, and there's going to be a link in there that you can sign up for it. And while you're there, go ahead, rate and review us. If you can do that wherever you're listening to this podcast, because it just lets other people, other fans of the show Felicity, discover some long-form Felicity content. All right, Fish. The next episode is called A Good Egg. What do you think that one's about?
Good egg. Well, I mean, obviously, Ruby had a good egg, which turned into a child that she could bring back, and we could all meet. Okay. I think it's going to be about a physics egg drop contest.
Okay.
That's my guess. And Ruby's child.
Yeah.
Yeah. No?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not, and I guess I'm not looking forward to where we're, no, I'm not spoiling it. Guys, I just am thinking about what's coming up in the next episode, and I hate it. So I don't know. We'll just see if my thoughts are different than how I'm feeling right now. when we cover this episode.
Interesting. Since I hated this episode, am I really, really going to hate the next episode, or are we going to flip?
It's just...
We never know. We never know.
Yeah, I feel like the main point of the next episode is sort of like bottle episode-esque.
Yeah, you don't like those.
I don't usually like those, but I could end up being wrong. Maybe they actually integrate a whole bunch of stuff that I forget about. It's just the main point of the storyline is like, what are we doing now? Anyway, we'll see. Maybe it's all changed. Maybe I've evolved, guys. We're going to find out. Okay. That'll be exciting. So, yeah. I don't know. Anything else you wanted to mention about this one, Fish?
Hated it.
We are just a ray of sunshine for everybody who's listening to us. This is it. This is where we are in the series right now. So that's it. Well, until next time, Fish, don't hook up with Ben while I'm gone.
I'm a fish.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.